In the year 2039, Gotham City has no heroes. Its people, no hope. Its youth, no future.
Evening, boys and girls. Who's up for some laughs?
Terry McGinnis was part of the problem.
Right there.
You can't control your temper, and you'd better if you expect to get anywhere in life.
Yeah, I'll be a big success, just like you.
Until a moment of violence brought him to the door of a man named Bruce Wayne.
Let's put a smile on his face.
Leave him alone. Once known as the Batman.
Man, you're something. You okay?
Now, the Dark Knight will rise again to drive the shadow of evil from the streets of Gotham. Let's go! Supervillains, beware! There's a new Batman in town. Batman Beyond. Weeknights at 6:30.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman. Justice returns to Gotham.
Welcome to my world.
Only Toonami. The land of Eternia is a paradise with a problem. An act of betrayal has created the ultimate evil. My face! And his name is Skeletor.
Eternia will be mine! Battle position!
The only thing that can stop his evil horde is a legend no one believes in.
A hero shall emerge.
And a prince with an attitude.
All this battle training is just fun and games.
Now, a sword will choose its master. A boy will become a man. And a hero will be born. Toonami is proud to present He-Man like you've never seen him before in an all-new original movie. Masters of the Universe. Next Friday at 4. Only Toonami.
4 turtles, mutated beyond recognition. For 15 years, the brothers hid in the sewers, training in the ancient ways of the ninja.
You cannot simply walk amongst the humans.
But we can certainly fly. Woohoo!
Now the teenagers finally surface, but the welcoming committee isn't quite what they expected.
Prepare to battle, costume fools.
We're not wearing costumes.
Don't miss the world premiere of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saturday, February 8th, 10:30 a.m. Only in the Fox Box.
The original Justice League has become a memory.
I am resigning from the Justice League.
What's gonna happen to the League now?
We rebuild. From the ashes of that great conflict, a new team has arisen. A much, much bigger team.
Each of you brings something different to the table.
Old friends, new heroes. And as usual, plenty of bad guys jumping up to get beat down.
Calm down, and I'll let you go. How about you kiss my ass?
Watch out, evildoers. There's nowhere to run. Because this year, they're all around you. The League is unlimited. Toonami presents an all-new original series, starring every superhero worth cheering for, and then some. Justice League Unlimited, premiering July 31st at 8:30 p.m.
And where am I exactly?
Among friends.
There's strength in numbers. Only Toonami.
In a future where anyone could be a cyborg, cops are a little different. The legendary cyberpunk classic finally comes to television in an all-new original series, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. New episodes every Saturday night at 12:30. The future is now.
Every night around the world, the children sleep, unaware of danger lurking in the shadows. But this night, a strange tune floats on the wind, and the children, one by one, begin to disappear.
I wonder where she could be going.
They are taken to a land of sweet memories and used to power an evil that feeds on their dreams.
My wonderful black bean hole is consuming dream energy from children.
Now, it's up to Sailor Moon and the Sailor Soldiers to put an end to this nightmare. This time, they're gonna need a little help.
Sailor Neptune!
Sailor Moon Super S, next Friday at 5:30. Dream on.
The children!
Only Toonami.
This place is a town of forgetfulness.
40 years ago, everything we knew was destroyed. The face of the planet changed forever.
There isn't anyone who really knows exactly what did happen.
The survivors left without memories. In the aftermath, a new society has formed.
I perform a much-needed job here in the city of amnesia.
In Paradigm City, the rich close themselves into giant domes, while the poor must live without protection. But one man stands for something more, and he does it in serious style.
As a professional, I just try to do my best.
His name is Roger Smith, the Negotiator.
Try this.
Goes against my principles, but I don't have a choice.
His allies, an android, a butler,
Leave this up to me.
and Big O.
It's showtime!
When they start a job, they always see it through.
Rest in peace! Bye-bye.
Enemies of Paradigm City, beware. There's a new robot on the block.
You're not going anywhere! You crazy little fool! You're gonna get yourself killed! Time to finish this!
We can't stay here if we do!
Let's end it once and for all!
Big O, weekdays at 5:30. Good guys still wear black. Only Toonami.
The destruction of Unicron has created a black hole, which threatens to swallow the planet.
Let's go!
Now, the Autobots' only hope is to find the ancient planet keys.
Prepare for battle!
But as usual, the Decepticons aren't playing along.
Beat it, Megatron! Oh, really?
Transformers Cybertron. New episodes, Saturdays at 7. Unlock the power.
Gotcha!
Only Toonami.
From beyond any known galaxy, bringing with them the laws and ideals of their doomed planet Thundera, come the Thundercats. Jaga, the wise. Tigra, the invisible. Chitara, the quick. Wily Cat and Wily Kit, a cunning junior duo. Patenthroll, the deadly. And the Snarf. The Thundercats, all sworn to serve their young lord, Lion-O, and to instruct him in the secrets of the Eye of Thundera. the eye embedded in the hilt of the mystic Sword of Omens, and the source of the Thundercat's power.
Thunder, 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 Thundercats, ho!
Pursuing the Thundercats to Third Earth, and determined to possess the Eye of Thundera for their own evil purposes, are the hideous mutants of the planet Plundar, led by the reptilian Sly. They form an unholy alliance with the ageless devil priest of First Earth, Mumra.
Reactor engaged. Traction locked. All go.
Thundercats are loose.
It would not be a stream of mine unless it was horrifically scuffed at the beginning. We all know this. We all know this. I am genuinely sorry about that. I completely forgot to mute the audio because we had somebody recommend, actually, that instead of having one single video play in the background, that I just compile a whole bunch of them and put them in the little stim board, as you guys call it. And so that's what I've done. That's what I've done. So what I'm going to do before or after this all goes live, I'll probably edit out the pain at the beginning. So again, my apologies. My apologies. So now that we're back to normal, I can't believe I forgot that, because I was thinking on my way here, like, I need to mute the audio on that. And then I didn't. I'm very smart, very smart. Okay. So what are we talking about today? Well, we'll get into that very shortly, very shortly. As always, we're going to do some housekeeping. So, a couple things. Number one, it wasn't specifically Kenny himself, but a guy I covered later on in that same stream who was like throwing a baby rage fit about 3POA. He did a video response after Ninja called him out, so we're going to cover that at some point. Then later on, I got something in the mail that's really cool, and I'm just going to share it real quick. I got in something called the Transformers Compendium, which was a Kickstarter program that compiles every single Generation 1 comic into massive, like, hardback books. And they came in, and they're really, really neat. So I'm sharing that. But we also have some updates on Purple Sacramentan, our favorite lunatic. He is still screeching, still crying, still lying, and one of his little kid-touching friends wound up in my DMs yesterday, quote-unquote, taking over the fake Purple account that we had in call, right? And he was trying his best to do some goofy anime LARP, and I will share this when I eventually cover it. Talking about how I was the guy who swatted you, I was in jail for 6 months. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how that works. It's like, do you have anything not boring? And then, of course, he proceeded to talk about how he was going to swat Vlad and all this other nonsense, because Purple just allies himself with the most moral and intelligent of people, right? So there's that. Now, for the topic for tonight, right? The topic for tonight. Those of you who have watched my streams or know anything about the sphere around me know who Malcolm is. Malcolm is a commentary slop channel who has done nothing meaningful with his life, like literally at all. And got, quote-unquote, fame by covering Poppy and Xena. And to my knowledge, based on the people I do trust, who have the data to back this up somewhere, screwed that up too, but now is clawing desperately to get relevance once again. So, what has he done? He's decided to start obsessing over me. Now, he didn't obsess over, he'll say otherwise, right? And we'll get into that. He didn't obsess over me for some moral imperative. He obsessed over me because I was bullying his freak friend Sai and he wanted to run a smokescreen for her. And we'll get into that later, right? Now, what happened is Malcolm decided to be 12 different bundles of stupid. All right? 12 different bundles of stupid. And try to claim that I'm creeping on children, not just in his asinine strains, but also on Twitter. And we're going to get into that shortly. But the truth of the matter is that it wound up spiraling eventually into Vlad having enough. Now keep in mind, Vlad did not do this for me. Vlad did this for amusement. For amusement. Because he gets really sick and tired of people like Malcolm. because he hates misinformation getting out and he finds Malcolm to be a weasel. So they schedule a debate. They have the debate, and we're going to be going over that today. I will tell you right now, there are several instances where he as in Malcolm, just flat out lied about things, misrepresented, made absurd assumptions, and provided evidence for quite literally nothing. Now, when we get to that, I will be bringing Vlad on, and we're going to have a little bit of fun talking about that stuff. But before that, I would like to share with you guys how that started, right? Because I have to. So, we're going to go to my favorite screen, obviously. I know you guys love the screen so much. Once I get to it. Where'd I put it? I can't find the reading room. No, seriously, where actually is it? Oh, I'm looking in the wrong spot. I'm very smart. Ta-da! So, now, what brought this about? Why did he... yes, I will zoom in, don't worry. The truth of the matter is that a certain individual named Malcolm, obviously, got super butthurt, and I mean super ultra mega butthurt, that he had to take an L for internet adjacent. Because he'll say otherwise, but the truth of the matter is, he saw that internet adjacent had beef with me, thought he'd get some data out of it, and then boom. It wound up blowing up in his face, because the little weirdo thought, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to promote this guy to get out Lio. I'll say otherwise, but that's what I did. Like an absolute joke. So, when he did this, open image in new tab, let me pull this out. He did a certain thumbnail. And that's what this is called. Now, first you might think, well, is that the R slur? Is that the big R word that we use as a no? It's for sexual assault of an unconsenting kind. So, he makes a joke out of that, right? That I am the king of them. Which is weird, because I never even thought about, like, a tax policy. I'm not even really big on monarchies, frankly. But this is Mr. Moral Crusader's idea of how to talk about somebody he thinks is a predator, or claims is a predator. I don't think he actually believes I am one. I think he's just trying his best to scrape up some excuse to continue going at me. This is Mr. Morals here. I think Lio's a danger to people. I'm going to act like this and talk negatively about the people who are affected. I know, I haven't even looked at the chat, but I know Vlad's going, lame, gay, who cares? But anyways, back to the main point of conversation, because I am so very amused by all of this. Now, here's where it all started in this. Malcolm says, I find it very concerning that a 40-year-old, childless, failed online pedo hunter... I'd love to know how I actually failed. I don't think inherently yelling at Rosa meant that magically meant I failed everything, because I did file police reports, I did all the stuff I was supposed to. If he's crying about the fact that there's, quote-unquote, no convictions, that's not on me. I can't make people go to jail. That's a different department altogether that I am not part of. Anyways, maintains parasocial relationships with literal children and engages directly with them in their own Discord servers. Now, we're going to see later on in these screenshots, right? And by the end of the stream, or after the stream's over, I will be posting like the Google Drive that has all these in it if you want to take a look yourself. I've been getting into the habit of doing that. We're going to see what he means by parasocial, because it's not what it actually means. What he does in this case is what he always does, is he claws to try to find like the worst thing to say, and then hope he can make a definition fit around it. Now, moving on, we have the next screenshot. Now, the interesting thing about this is, number one, this isn't even a Discord. And funny thing is, you'll see that the minor here is all censored out, right? You see that. This was on a community post, and one thing I want to point out, really interesting, because I didn't even notice till it was pointed out to me by my community. Really interesting thing. You see this icon here? You know who took this screenshot? Frick the Pirate. Now, who is Frick the Pirate? Frick the Pirate is a terminally online, jobless freak who has, for the past year or so, been so butt-mad, he's been trying to convince people that I'm preying on people or that I'm sexually interested in individuals. Evidence, don't ask for evidence. That requires effort. All because, were I to venture a guess, he got blown out by people I know, like Chris the Narc, after the Schister incident earlier this year, which caused him to initially run. Frick here, unfortunately, is one of the people Ponder talked about years ago. And this is not something I would often say, because that was not right for Ponder to do, because Frick was a kid. But unlike, say, Akumu, who, like, battled through the hordes to become king of the idiots in terms of, like, who he dunks on. Not that Akumu is an idiot. I want to be very clear there. This guy just doubled down on all the stupid crap he was doing. So he's just as much a liar, just as much a manipulator as he's always been. This is his obsession. This is his obsession. And because he's ran off to Malcolm's community specifically, because I gotta find somebody talking mean about Lio, otherwise my feelings will be hurt, that's where this comes from. And what's the other one? Oh no, more fan art that I said is adorable as always. Oh my goodness, I gave a compliment to fan art that's out in the public. Ooh, no! This is what he thinks is parasocial, me responding to things. Very interesting, very interesting. Also, for the record, because I know Malcolm's going to listen to this, he's going to try to make content out of it desperately. And the reason, by the way, I don't go on and hop on with him is because it is far funnier to me to watch him manically freak out and try to claw desperately for more things to cover about me, because now he's set in a situation where he has, like, the fallacy of diminishing returns. Wait, hold on. He said I thought it was parasocial. No, I'm talking about here right now. Parasocial. Vlad, that's what I'm referring to. He started obsessing over me to try to cover up his porn-slinging friend, Sai. And now, because he's already entrenched in that, even though he's cut Sai off and removed her from his server for things he already knew she was doing, to mind you, now he's falling for not diminishing returns, sunk cost fallacy. He's falling for sunk cost fallacy. My apologies. And now he's just trying to double, triple, quadruple down on it. It just makes him look like an absolute fool more than it already did. I don't know why, but Nord keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. Whatever. You're going to hear that from time to time. My apologies. So, moving on to the next one. Now, this is somehow also parasocial. Now, what were they saying that caused me to say based? They were talking about how they are unapologetically a Christian. Scandalous. So terrifying. Horrible. Anywho, boop. Yes, 40-year-olds maintain. Actually, I think I have the full one of this. Do I? Yes, here it is. So one of this individual's friends, and this isn't censored; it just cuts off. Says, so Lio being nice to his fans is weird. I know the 16-year-old. They aren't even friends. They're more like mutuals, and even then, I don't think it's weird. Lio was just being nice because the 16-year-old made fan art for them. He responds, yes, 40-year-olds maintaining parasocial relationships with 16-year-olds online is weird. Correct. He doesn't know what parasocial means, and if he thinks that commenting on something is parasocial, I guess he's parasocial with all his fans, of which he has no clue, by the way, are children or not. So then Friendly Fire responds, it's not even parasocial. Malcolm's getting corrected by a child. Love to see it. I know the 16-year-old, and I've seen their DMs because I was concerned. They don't talk at all. There's no relationship. True. He says, it's definitely parasocial, with a space. A 40-year-old man engaging with a 16-year-old fan, as you said online, is weird and definitionally parasocial. No, it's not. And you'll find out in the debate that Mongoose here, old Malcolm, actually has no clue what words mean. So then, Friendly Fire says, you're acting like an adult can't have any conversation with a teenager at all. Nothing is going on. He says, yeah, some weird, childless 40-year-old who runs in circles with pedo hunters. I do? What pedo hunters do I run with? Oh, wait, he doesn't actually know anything. He just takes whatever he hears from his idiot fan base and just spews it out. Talking to literal children as opposed to figurative children? Online, like across the country. I have no idea where this person lives, and I don't care. It's really weird. Log off, go outside, take your own advice. I'm concerned for your well-being. No, you're not. He's never once been concerned with anybody's well-being because this is who he is. And we're going to get into that in a minute here. But if you think something weird is going on, why didn't you contact anyone involved that you're concerned for? Which one would think, if I am a danger, you would want to get the kid away from me, right? Like directly. And you wouldn't do like some song and dance about it like this. Oh, I've been sent something by the fish. The fishman. The fishman has sent me something. I do not want to donate. Involving or relating to a connection that someone feels between themselves and a famous person they do not know, a character in a book, film, TV series, etc., or an artificial intelligence. So, that's purely on the direction of the fan. Nothing to... Again, he has no clue what he's talking about. He never does. He never does. Parasocial is always, like, on the end of the person with, like, not the quote-unquote fame, which I wouldn't even say I have. Why didn't you contact... Again, he says that. And here he says, so you want me to dox this child, which is not at all what was ever said. At no point, he says, why didn't you contact anyone involved? At no point did Friendly Fire say dox the kid. But that's immediately what took away because he doesn't understand what words mean. Or more so, he's actually just being manipulative and trying to reframe everything in a way that suits his bias. And trying to find out where they live and contact their parents. Not what you were told to do, not what you were asked. Because I think something is concerning or weird. Moving on to the next one. Oh. Well, I don't have the next one yet. Well, what I wanted to get onto here for, and I forgot to include this, and I will later in the Google Drive. He sits here, right? Let's see, where is it? Where did he say it? I'm concerned for your well-being. Now, later on, Malcolm offers this child, Friendly Fire, to come on to the stream and talk to him. Malcolm, why are you engaging with children to try to suit your hate bias? What is wrong with you? No, actually, what is wrong with you? You are actually sick. But now we move on to things that were said in this server that are going to be brought up in the stream. So we have Mars bars, and we're gonna have some fun with Mars bar. He's gonna be a deviation at the end of going over all these other ones, where one of the most ridiculous things that we will see later on is where Malcolm got this information from. It's a very interesting source, but then again, some freak named QQ, who's I don't know much about him. I just know he's a freak. Tried to claim that Sakura Miku from the Miku Month reviews is an action figure of a sexualized child. Then, of course, he doubled back and said it was a different one, which was the upend version, I think it was, which I said was gross and creepy and not to buy it. So I said something negative about a gross toy. Oh no! For the sake of bullying Lyle, let's pretend she's 6. Joke. Sure thing, buddy. Now, the Tito Lulu up here, who again, since when do you have to join a minor server in order to DM them when I don't have their screen name and nobody gave it to me? And to be clear, the reason why I joined and I contacted this individual is because I know they were in contact with a UTTP member. Now, I did tell them to be distance. Not going to be mean, but they're teenagers, so of course they didn't listen. And, that's why I popped in. Because somebody told me that this person was connected and showed me evidence they were connected to a UTTP member, and obviously I don't want any UTTP members around children for the obvious reasons. He had to see if there were any predators in there. True, his pool of friends is getting pretty thin. Now, I want you to be aware, Lulu is a type of weirdo who, when we looked into her, was mad because people told her to put certain things away that we're not going to talk about on this stream, so she needs to be bullied. Next one. Mars bars. After somebody calling me a liar for what we don't know. Because even if he was telling the truth, if Lyle was in a server, or if Malcolm was in a server talking about toys, they'd say he was a pedophile. No, actually I wouldn't. I don't think being in a server talking about toys inherently means you're a pedophile. Vlad does. But I don't. I don't know. If anything, I might judge him for what he collects. Because, he strikes me as a Funko Pop guy. He's that wheat bread. He's that stale white bread. Not wheat bread. That stale white bread. He strikes me as a Funko Pop freak. I bet he collects Funko Pops. That's worse than being a pedophile, obviously. So the idea that Lyle gets off scot-free because what? He's obese is insane to me. Don't worry, Mars Bars. We're going to be talking about you shortly. Because I know what Mars Bars are scared of, and we're going to have fun with that. So Vlad responded. It takes like 10 seconds to confirm, bro, instead of listening to a mentally deficient individual, Dreamer, because that's who decided to post about all this. You could try researching. Behold, the most damning info ever. Lio talked about Transformers in a server, and we'll see the image for that in a bit. Also, Glass Raven is an adult. Gonna go after her too. And how does Malcolm respond? Glass Raven is a literal nobody. So the action isn't the problem. It's whether or not he gets clout from it. And correct, I think a 40-year-old childless man that for some reason keeps finding pedophiles in his close circle, hanging out with 16-year-olds is weird. Close circle. I found them randomly in my server because of this concept called troll shielding. I don't think Malcolm's aware of it because, frankly, Malcolm does have somebody in his server by the name of Lord Fartquad, who, that's the alt of somebody from Fox Mafia named Korova Milk Bar. And he knows about it. They've joked about the fact that he's in there. That's fine. You can keep having degenerates in your server, Malcolm. There's no kids there to my knowledge, so collect all the freaks you want. Why don't you let the heavy-set gentleman fight his own battles for once? He is so desperate for that conflict because he took an L on Internet Adjacent. Malcolm, that's embarrassing. You're a grown man. You're pathetic. Just say, you know what, that's the L, and move on with your life. So, it's obviously about clout for him, not about the principle, which he tries to claim later on in the debate, by the way, that this is principled. That it's about the fact that he takes umbrage with me being a monster. Moving on. Now, this is when I was going back and forth with Bunny Chan on her Twitter alt, where she was claiming that Vlad assaults his kid and threatened, not joked, not throwing something in their face, threatened to assault their not-existent niece. But said they wouldn't report Vlad. Because I don't want their kid taken away. I think they're abusing their child, but I don't want their child taken away. How stupid are you? So I quoted saying, I think this person sexually assaults his own kid, and I totally believe he threatened my non-existent niece, but I don't want his kid, who I say is he's abusing, taken away from him. I'm the good guy. I called them a joke. And Malcolm says, who needs enemies when your internet buds encourage random internet strangers to call CPS on you, Lamau? Malcolm, are you just stupid? Well, I mean, you know you are, but are you just so deranged you don't understand what the point here is? The point here is they're making things up and they know it's not true. The point is, if they thought it was true, they should have called somebody. And frankly, gotta be blunt here, if there was a shred of evidence of anybody in my circles abusing their child, yes, the authorities should be called on them. No question. I don't care if it's Monstrous. I don't care if it's Vlad. I don't care if it's all the other different adults that have kids in my server. I don't care who it is. Because if I recall correctly, even back in freaking Barrel, we had some freak who refused to call the authorities on his sister who was being abusive. And what did? We bullied him into finally doing it. Yes, drummer, I know that Funko's probably shutting down. It is good news, but not really topical. Now he says, because I made fun of Vincent Martin, who was trying his best to white knight for Jar, I said, cool, I never defended someone that went to bat for a groomer, though, lol. Malcolm here says, Lio has defended Jar, against claims that were not true, by the way. Coyote Lovely, I didn't have all the details about him. Doodle Tones had no evidence she was a predator. Didn't even find out about the other stuff till everybody else did. Vidya, I think he means Vita, but he's a moron, so he can't type, and he also doesn't know the lore. Malcolm, who do you think annihilated him? Who do you think brought out the fact that he was doing these things? Who do you think had actual evidence? Because if you're referring to the one time I defended him in the Buttons video, where somebody was just throwing a random shot, calling him something with no evidence, I mean, you could probably list that as, a defense, but not defending him knowing he's a predator. Jar knew what sin he was. He may not have believed she was a groomer, but he knew what he was trying to defend. And Lily Orchard never defended Lily either, by the way. What they keep trying to tout as me defending Lily is the fact that I didn't make a video on Lily, because at the time I had literally no evidence that she had harmed any children, which was always the focus on whether or not a child was harmed. Because if I just covered people who wrote gross, creepy, weird, child porn-esque fan fiction, this channel, everything else would be nothing but lolicons 24/7 and bullying them, trying to get them to kill themselves. I can't do that. You have to draw the line somewhere on what you plan or intend to cover, right? So this is more dishonesty, because he just takes whatever is given to him by whatever loser and runs with it. Because like Sai, who he ran defense for, he doesn't research anything. He just runs with it and hopes it's right. And if it's not, well, it's somebody else's fault. It's never his. Anyways, moving on to the next one. So, this is what started all of that. So, can we see the name here, people? Dreamer, the obsessive stalking weirdo who should kill themselves. Ta-da! Calling me a groomer. Screenshot from a minor's Discord server getting involved with the kiddies with toys. Yes, very threatening toy. This is the toy I posted. It's Trans Arts third-party Transmetal 2 Cheetor. Totally. And of course, there's the Sakura Miku that QQ tried to claim was a sexual toy. Yes, this is so bad, so terrible, so damning. I posted a funny picture of a toy I took. So, here's what I want to get into later, because Malcolm's going to play pretend that things like this didn't happen. This happened in Falgi's server when I had my first direct back and forth with Sai, where I bullied the living daylights out of her, and the main thing I was pressing was, why do you let kids have access to porn in your server? Over and over and over and over again. Even showed images of it. if I recall correctly. And if not, well, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I did. How many underage SA victims did Psy move into their house? Better question. I think the answer is none. Never once had an underage person move in my house. The first person who moved in was Jordan, and they were 19. If you think a 19-year-old is a minor, kill yourself. And of course, this is Psy trying to claim I was flirting with Peaches, and I emotionally cheated on my wife. No, kill yourself, Psy. I'm sorry you're miserable. Doesn't mean everybody else is. I said, same as me, I'd imagine? None. But Malcolm, he's too busy trying to defend Milady. Now, why do I find some of this interesting? And we're going to go back into a point he makes later on. Later on, he talks about how I am so cruel and so evil for abusing mentally ill individuals and trying to use them for content or whatever, and that that's wrong, it is immoral, and I'm a monster for it. Well, let's find out something. So, that individual, Dreamer, where did he post that? Where did he post that? What's this? What's this? He posted it in Malcolm's server. Now, Malcolm has tried his best to go on about how Dreamer shouldn't have been bullied. He's mentally unwell. How dare you? He's the next Rosa. Why are you allowing this person to continue this in your spaces if you think they're unwell? Why are you enabling this and furthermore giving them more credence to do so with positive reception by taking what they say and putting it out there? Why are you weaponizing an unwell person, Malcolm? Because the difference is, the reason I'll smack Dreamer is because even though they're clearly not all there in the brain, they're malicious. And I don't think magically that not having mental wellness at all means that you should be completely devoid of any sort of cookback on what you do. And it gets even weirder, because we're going to, again, a lot of this I keep saying we're going to get into it later. It's ridiculous, right? He will absolutely weaponize children, like he did in the Twitter post, or the mentally unwell, if it suits his purposes, while trying to scream at me for yelling at them occasionally when they are being scumbags. Amazing. Now, this is in regards to something Vlad called Bangate, where he was banned from Malcolm's server for, well, it depends on the reason, I guess, and what day and when the moon's aligned with the stars or whatever, what answer I'll give him. But Gilla the Bloodspiller says, to add an extra scene to Bangate, Rao has not only been unbanned from Malcolm's server from having creeped out a bunch of women for jokingly sexually harassing them, but Malcolm is actually super tight with him, despite him also frequently making originally offensive jokes. Now Vlad says, bro. Now, Gilla does correct this. I've had it clarified to me by Rao that he wasn't banned for sexually harassing women, rather he was banned for bothering Psy. He says bother Psy, but remember, you cannot bother his queen. But I mean, if you rage in different calls, calling yourself an ephemophile, like, I guess that's fine to have it as DMs. And of course, I don't know, I think Akumu has like some sixth sense, some magic, because there was like a time I had watched a video like 30 minutes after it had come out, and it mentioned him once, and he's immediately in like, in the comments. How do you do that? He says, if true, another woke school not following their principles. Color me shocked. So, we have seen that. Now, what are we going to talk about? Mars bars. Well, very interesting thing about Mars bars. Very, very fascinating thing. An interesting creature. So, before I go into all this, all right, Mars bars was a member of my server who, when all the Psy and Malcolm stuff started, decided he'd try to play the game of running his mouth in those servers while being in ours, taking screen caps, and somehow thinking we wouldn't see what he's doing in a public server. Now, to be clear, I don't care if somebody takes screenshots from my server. It's a public server. What I care about is whether or not you're an honest individual about it. And Mars Bars here was just being a snake. Just being a snake. So, after Psy got bullied on Twitter to where she had to get off Twitter, he says, I effed up, chat. And this is to one of my mods, Junkfish. What do you want? You know, the Muslim. I say that you guys were right about Psy and that I was wrong. Let me guess, didn't go smooth with Psy. Nope, went horribly. I haven't associated with her for a while, but I thought it'd be best to just bite the bullet and admit I was wrong and didn't know what I was talking about when it comes to the Psy stuff. He was shown evidence. And I said a lot of crap I now regret. I know regret. Because I felt attacked and pressured to defend my points. Boo-hoo. If you talk trash, you're gonna get pressed on it. Stop being dumb. I'm definitely taking an extended break from all this drama stuff. He did not. It's lame and messes with my mental health. Keep in mind, he's in Malcolm's server right now. Probably freaking out about this being shown, just to be clear. These stars are glowing. Hey, do you guys remember that Lio who is a piece of crap, bullies mentally ill people? I haven't bullied you yet, so I don't know. I'm definitely taking an extended break that messes with my mental health. Haven't thought about you in ages. You're an adult who does adult crap. Don't come to me like you played Nerf gun in the house when you were told, hey, this person's high, insane. You left around and found out so. Yeah. Go literally do something productive. Though no one's black and white, everyone's gray. I don't know. I think that might be racist. If you haven't gone full naked commando, you wouldn't feel like crap was flung on your face. But, whatever. I'm going to go resume lunch now. I'm not someone who speaks for Lio, so if you want to give a, yeah, my bad, go to the man you decided to diss in his public server. Old man decides what. I'm just a random. Because I'm not good at doing, Egyptian accents. Oh, context DM? Let me see this. Vlad has sent me something. Is it a gift? Ah. Well, okay. I mean, I just ban Imrao for being Imrao. I think he's a weirdo. But no, I appreciate it, Vlad. Don't expect a red carpet. I don't care for your sorry or F up. But if you actually want to own up to stuff, go to the guy you spat on his shoes. Or don't. Either way, don't care. Don't bug me with trivial stuff. Got it. Out of curiosity, what were you wrong about exactly? I can't zoom out. With Sai, I mean. Why did you specifically do that? What did she specifically do that rubbed her off the wrong way? So in the server, there was a 15-year-old. And I was like, what the F? So I said something about it in the server, and a bunch of her server members jumped me. So I took it to Sai's DMs, asking her to please moderate her Discord better. And I used the excuse of, oh, this will damage your reputation if LioConvoy gets a hold of this. They don't care. So I could touch a billion kids and they'd somehow say it's my fault. But the real problem was people continuing to say crazy stuff in the server whilst there are minors around. He knew this. He was always told this. He ignored it. So I told Sai to ban all minors, and her response was essentially, don't try to control me. They paid to be here. Don't care. And after that, I was done with everything. Care to share DMs/images? As long as you don't send them to anyone. Yeah, idiot. Coward. You don't know who to trust nowadays. I get it. Do share. And of course, here's the DMs. Because screw this guy in particular. Keeping it short, but I've been seeing some stuff from the members that I'm not liking, and I know there's a lot of moles and others in the server, so I just want you to be safe and stuff. Not trying to send hate, and I know you view them as winning, but like, seriously think how this looks on your optics. Not trying to strong arm, just think on it, I guess.
To be frank, it does feel like you got an itch and decided to take it a mile.
Die. I mean, I can see that. When it comes to all of us, yes.
I run my channel as one of my income streams.
You don't have any other income stream. You can say your art is one, but I don't know. How many people would be willing to pay for Gooner art from this loser?
The Discord server is part of the paid membership to YouTube or Patreon. It feels kind of cheap and unprofessional to just ban people for no real reason when they have paid any amount of money.
Ban children from your server. Especially with what you specifically talk about on your channel and all you ever talk about, die. I understand that.
I expect the adults in the space to conduct themselves like they would in any other public social media.
Well, and they'll be banned if they want. A lot of adults on social public media post porn all the time. Idiot.
I don't give a crap about LioConvoy or any other moron wants to go, you're in the vicinity of a minor, that makes you a mega groomer.
Never said that. Never said that. Try me. I mean, I could. But you're probably like 12, so no. And I try to, but I see other members that don't. I apologize for the Deadpool joke. I was trying to lighten the mood and it didn't come across that way, so this is my fault. And I'm not just talking about Lio or Pink King fans. I'm talking about other people that stumble across hate posts of you and form their opinion based off screenshots from your Discord outside of the people that have been coming after you. I hope this makes sense. This has been sitting for a while, so it may be discombobulated. Of course, she ignored all that.
And guess what? They have zero impact on the money I make on YouTube. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not going to fret about people making hate posts that get 5 likes. No, instead you'll just delete your Twitter because you got blown out. I'll leave it at this. I genuinely talked about how I talked around people a year younger than me because I assumed that the only people that were looking at my messages were 16 turning 17 soon and 17-year-olds. Bruh. And now I know there are possibly younger members that I just don't know about. It makes me uncomfortable and basically never want to talk in there because I feel like certain topics like Lily and even Lio are a bit dark for people. I mean, I could be tan if I needed to be. A bit dark for people in their freshman year of high school. There are places like Kiwi Farms, LioConvoy, and even Twitter that sees this stuff and forms their own opinions on it. I'm also being a little more cautious because I saw myself on Kiwi, and not gonna lie, that's a little scary.
For those of you interested in posting this on Kiwi Farms, after the stream ends, this is all going to be in the Google Drive in the description. Anyways, that's spooky, and the thought of this happening to a 17-year-old who has classes to deal with because they talked about Lio or Lily is scary. Even if they're not getting crap talked on here, they're still putting their username on Kiwi or Locale, or even just in the wrong spaces on Twitter. TLDR, think about yourself and the safety of your members. You never once cared about the safety of anybody's members there, Mars. You were trying to save your own skin. Like, multiple people were in that screenshot Lio shared. This should not be harassed by other people. Every single adult should have been. Every single adult should have had to bite the curb and stop dicking around and say, you know what, we shouldn't talk about this if kids are around, or let's get rid of the kids. That's not how the bird sounds, all right? All right? That's not how the bird sounds. Anyways. Yeah, sorry, I can't do much about people like that whose entire life is online, so they try to dig into other people's servers and communities and business. Wah. But honestly, the Lily and Lyle threads are really small potatoes when it comes to the larger Kiwi farms. There's always going to be people gossiping on forums, Tumblr posts, or on Twitter, etc. Malcolm's community will probably be getting it too, since he also likes to kick the beehive with these weirdos. I'm not the one posting porn on my server and justifying why kids should look at it. If Lyle makes a video on me, you know what I'm going to do? React to it. Depends on what I'd put in the video. Because I do know for a fact that at least one of her former associates is actually really scared I'll do a video on him. Anyways. True, but with Malcolm that's different, because we're all adults rather than it being a mix of minors and adults. Lamau. Someone is telling me about another instance when a bunch of people's socials were leaked, and one of them included a 14-year-old. Granted, it was Tumblr, but that's still scary to an extent. Do you think he's scary? Do you think any of this is scary? I think you think it's scary. Who this? Anywho. What if Starlit Soothsayer, or who gets maybe 2 notes per post? I don't know who that is. And nothing came of it all? Yeah, unfortunately, this is the reality of being online and interacting in nerd fandom spaces. I still feel it's an issue when it comes to minors, though, as they don't fully grasp the situation due to age and inexperience. That sure sounds like a problem for their parents. You know, maybe one day one of the parents will go psycho and, like, find where Sai lives and beat her to death. That'd be nice. I see that, but I still feel that as an older individuals, we should at least try to safeguard that, at the very least in our own spaces, which is interesting because Mars wasn't 17, Fishy. Come on, man. You gotta pay attention. Stop scrolling the Gundam pages while you're listening to the stream, alright? Alright? Don't worry, just some dude. I will, in fact, at some point do videos again. I promise. Anywho. In general, on social media, we can't do anything. We can't police people on what they do or what they post. Well, you can in your own server, frankly. So if a minor get harassed, then there's not much we can do. Oh, hush, Fishy, you know you love me. But in more personable spaces like Discord, whilst public are moderated, and spaces like these should at least have a little bit of safeguarding. Kiwi's gonna Kiwi. They don't GAF. People don't care about kids online. I do. Bit me in the butt, though. And I still do. I'm sure it'll bite me in the butt again. I feel it's just common courtesy to not put people who are not fully aware in situations like that. Again, it's my job. It's not my job. No, it kind of is if you think it's your online presence, it's your job. All I ask is people behave accordingly, and they'll be banned if it turns out they're talking inappropriate to a minor. They have been, though. You didn't ban anybody. Now there's a continuing conversation with Junkface. At first, I was like, oh, people turning 18 in a year or two, whatever. Then I found out her server members are weird and that the mods can't ban anyone. Loser. All of my friends in the server were normal. No, they weren't. But there were members I wouldn't trust around minors to beach. I wouldn't trust anybody who, like, licks the boots of Sai around... I wouldn't trust them around a Komodo dragon. Because they might try to hump the Komodo dragon. Any footage and images you could share? DMs with the mods? Any names whom you don't trust around minors? To be clear, I'm talking about the adult fans. I don't know if it's on my phone or PC. Let me see if there's anything on my phone. Who are your friends in the server? And if they're also in Cat Slayer. Jasmine, who also doesn't agree with Sai. They were in the screenshot that Lio was sending around, and was one of the main reasons I said what I said about the screenshots Lio sent to me. So he recognized it and decided not to start addressing it until he thought it might show up on Kiwi Farms. Very smart. Because I had just started talking to Jasmine and wanted to defend my friend. Jasmine is no longer in Cat Slayer. Good, she can stay gone. Well, wasn't at all. Oh, good. They can stay out. How long did you sit on this? A month. The reason why is because I genuinely despise the idea of this being turned into drama. Then why are you in drama spaces, you mentally inept clown? Because it's serious and should be treated as such. You watch Psy Scribbles. You cannot be serious about this. And I really don't want to be the forefront of something. Well, how you feel now, buddy? A bunch of people talked to Malcolm about it after we talked about it together, but he did nothing but let Psy dig her grave. Don't tell anyone I'm saying this. I really don't want them to get harassed over this. So, apparently, Malcolm was told directly by other people about all this. Nice friendship there. Psy, IDGAF about, but everyone else didn't deserve this. Define everyone. Not the people in her server, or me, because I'm the one yapping, but people in Malcolm's server that were yapping about Lyle that also happened to be in Psy's server because she thought she was cool, because he thought she was cool at first due to Lily talk, then later realized she's weird. She's always been weird. Do you recall if this was text or call in Malcolm's server? It was an unrelated server. What's the server? A bunch of Psy members realize she's weird and haven't left because there's works of literature they wrote in Psy's server that they still need to transfer over. Copy and pasting isn't that difficult. Lao, you are a parasite that feeds off people's unhappiness that you cause. Okay, I'll continue causing your unhappiness, though, and it will feed me well. By the way, people, if they make their own unhappiness, it's not my fault they're stupid. If they don't want to be called out, I don't know, don't do something stupid. So they're using the server for that and crap talking Psy. Crap talking in the unrelated server. Yes? Yes. Here's some evidence. But I like having Eamon around. They're a funny kid. Are they a minor? Because they're like 17. That's fine. But 16 is no for me. They just turned 15. I don't even know what the relation to this is, but I included it for the sake of inclusion. And here's some more talking to server. Julie's going to love this. I'm talking specifically about her blaming Ponder for not keeping track of everything she was yada. I get that, but without that context of you talking about that in relation to Chuli and Ponder, it accidentally sounds like you were telling Chuli to take accountability for being exploited and groomed. Well, Chuli is still being groomed by Lio. Evidence? Evidence? None. So, guys, if you just start randomly claiming that Psy groomed people, she's fine with that, just so you're aware. I just want to be clear, okay? What do you think? I'm just going to make a poll. I'm going to have some fun here. All right? This is going to give me a minute. Tell me, which one do you guys think is closer to grooming? Even though there's signs he's going to try to remove her text, not once. Not once have I invited, wanted to, claimed, or stated that I would ever have Chuli move in with me because I don't want her to. She needs to go live by herself. All right? All right? All right. Why delete a couple? What did you delete? Trying to look for them again. Server's full of personal stuff, but I know they're in there. If not, there's another place I put them. Do you or anyone have access to Psy server? I no longer have access, but you can pay $1 through PayPal, then charge it back and keep access to the server. Ain't no way I'd pay to enter. Based. But I'd still be interested to see the place people pay to enter. We have the exports. I don't know why it won't show up, but you know how you subscribe to someone, the join button shows up? That's where the server is. She'll post links in there a lot. Interesting. Okay. Anything relevant you wish to share as well? I like the whole cake if you be so kind. Invalid link. That probably didn't work. It's old. Yeah, it's old. Still looking for screenshots and stuff. Yeah, but that's the reason why I don't F with Psy anymore. Okay. Should you find more? Do send it here. A user who used to be cool with Psy, but now they are not. I don't want to go around spreading people's users who probably don't want to be involved with us, especially after mine got leaked on Kiwi Farms. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Kiwi Farm? Yeah, someone put one of my messages in Kiwi. Sort of scary. It made me think about a lot of this. It's a huge part of why I'm being so vague. If this does get out, I'll be the only one to get back on there. Yeah, I hope you do. Rather than people who want nothing to do with Psy or the situation. I mean, who cares? Kiwi Farms is full of degens. There's leaks and plot holes everywhere. It's bound to bite folks in the butt.
If you've done something shady and feel anxious, you probably did something you shouldn't or isn't comfortable. If you're confident in your actions, then you got nothing to be anxious. Don't let him post our DMs or my DMs with Psy publicly, please. No. Because you're a snake and you're a liar. I really don't feel like hearing it from Psy right now. I'm like super busy. Not too busy to call someone a pedophile on another server that you ran to immediately. Outdoor stuff. Then go do your outdoor thing. You won't take action. I will. The end. She's not your problem no more. Cat emoji. Again, if there's anything relevant to share, I'd appreciate it. Okay? Got it. Good. You should consider staying out of the kitchen if it's too effing hot from now on. Got it? As Lio would be very interested in these, FYI. The chance still stands for you to own up and go to Cat's Lair apologizing. You got evidence folks want to keep track on Psy. I advise joining CL to confront him with these. He'll hear you out. He takes his job seriously. He's a stubborn old man, true, but he cares for folks, and this will make his job easier. Again, I mostly just want to stay out of drama, which is why he keeps running his mouth in other Discords. Because he doesn't think people will see it, I guess. And don't want to get wrapped up in something by going to Lio, like I just want to leave the drama space. He never did. Kill yourself, Mars Bar. But what can you do is that you can take all the images I sent from Psy's server and the one from Malcolm's and go to him with it. Just don't tell him I sent them. Womp womp. And don't send our DMs. Again, I just don't want my name attached to this. But you can say that you went in both server, found these, then left if you want. Oh, okay. I'm most definitely going to take these to Jim. Him. I am not Jim. There's a story about that later. All right, so let's go to the meta screen again. So, that was a fun little thing, right? Fun little diversion. So, you have now, guys, seen how Mars Bars acts, and you've also seen how Malcolm just doesn't actually care about whether or not kids get hurt, whether or not they're being preyed upon. The only thing he has and ever will care about is whether or not he can weaponize it against somebody's covering. That's all he's ever cared about. That's all he ever will care about. I love this Goldfister guy. You're truly pathetic, wasting your 40s on people suffering. I mean, if it's the right people, I always will. I always will. If they are scumbags, I will always enjoy their suffering because they're scumbags. And if that offends you, you probably are a scumbag and should immediately go to the kitchen sink, go underneath where mommy keeps all the cleaning material, and swallow every single bit of it. That's just my personal feeling. So, I mean, you know, subject to change. And the only way this would be different is if this person was a kid, which I doubt. I doubt. So, anywho, now it is time. Now it is time to get into the main thing here. The main thing. So what we're going to do now is, I can't believe it took me an hour to get there. My apologies. So what we're going to do now, is I'm going to hop in my server after I clear my notifications. Go wait. I'm going to hop in my server. I'm going to hop into my office, and Vladimir will join me there. Boop. And I will set a status that hopefully people will listen to, but probably won't. All right, Vlad, if you're still alive, come a reading. No, Asuka, you're gay. No, you know comebacks. So let's see here. I'm also, by the way, going to link Vlad's published, video, because he had the stream and then he also did a supercut of it and put that out today. I'll link that in the description once everything's done. So you guys can all look at that independently if you so choose. Boop. Man, I need to figure out how to recenter this. I'm in my office. Well, you're still loved either way, Asuka. Ah, Vlad.
Yeah, I kind of passed out for a second.
The cringe took you out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you turning your entrance sound off before you joined.
Oh, it doesn't work in here, remember?
The entrance song doesn't?
No, because it's an external soundboard clip, so...
Huh. I didn't know that's how that worked. Anyways, let me grab the watch together for you. Boop. But before I do, there's something I need to do real quick that I forgot to. Where are you? Boom. Now Vlad is on screen. For his first, official appearance that isn't just him randomly being at a call I hop into. Everybody say hi to Vlad.
Hi, me.
You shouldn't be that much of an egotist. Anyways. Vlad's quiet. I'll turn him up. At least I'll try to. All right, guys. Are we ready? Are we all ready?
How the hell does this thing work? What the...
You just sit there and I hit play, and then you can pause it if you want to. I can pause it if I want to. That's how that works.
This is new technology.
This is old technology. It's old technology. Obsolete. What could it possibly do? Let me know when you're ready, Vlad.
I'm setting it up. I've never used this before.
Setting it up? You should just need to click on it. It should take you immediately to a screen that shows your video. Is it not doing that?
I'm in now. I had to set up a name and all that, so...
Really? I didn't have to. I'll just assume that it hates old people.
Yeah, I'm in.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play it, and I will audio balance as we go.
Individuals for.
Sure.
And that goal could have been basically any of the things you mentioned. Would that be a fair representation of your argument?
Yeah.
I'm going to move this to 1.25 speed.
Okay.
Or 1.5 speed, rather.
For the most part, yeah. Because, I mean, I could be, very granular with it, but I don't, we don't have to get, stunt locked on this forever. I can be incredibly granular.
Well, the reason I'm asking that is because now I'm going to ask you, what is the bad thing that he was grooming them for? What was the end
the
goal?
bad thing with Jordan in particular was kind of using Jordan's, youngness, youthfulness, in order to procure or get involved in or get a wedge in with a lot of the different predator hunting things that he was doing with Grizzly, and with...
Fun thing. No, I didn't. I hate to tell him this. Actually, no, I'd love to tell him this. But he's so misinformed, it's really dumb. Because he came to me about Grizzly years after it happened, when we busted Grizzly for a completely different person at a completely different set of time. I don't know where this what's the word I'm looking for? Fan fiction that I use Jordan as bait came from, but he's dumb for buying it.
Kabot as well, and then obviously escalating into Jordan. And I think the negative thing as well would be part of the found family dynamic, specifically because I would say that probably meets some kind of an emotional need. It doesn't, on its face, an emotional need obviously is not inherently negative, but say that I really need somebody to support and listen to me. But let's say that when I need somebody to support and listen to me, that's me confessing all of these horrible murders that I've done, and I expect you not to say anything about it. Conditioning you to be that emotional need and be my secret keeper, obviously...
Vlad, a Catholic, just said that.
Yeah, I have... Wait, what is he... Wait, conditioning you...
He's talking about conditioning and, admitting horrible murders to somebody, expecting them to still be there and support you. That's literally what confessions do.
Wait, oh, yeah. I think I somehow zoned out in both the debate during this part and now. Somehow his, high-speed Destiny LARP tangent thing is just too much.
I had to point it out. I'm sorry.
That's negative, but the emotional, kind of need there, generally speaking, isn't bad, but the reason that I'm using it could be bad. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm not asking what could or couldn't. I'm asking what the bad thing is.
Using minors as, honeypots for pedophiles, and then also using it to fulfill some kind of an emotional need as far as the found family is concerned at the expense of that individual.
So, two things. Well, I'll get into the thing with the honeypotting later, but my second question is, how was it at the expense of the individual?
because every single person that moved in with Lio as a part of his found family, like gay fucking harem.
You know, here's the thing. If you're claiming I'm a groomer, you can't really use a derogatory term like harem to describe the people in it, because you're just showing that you don't actually care. You're just saying what you want to feel good. And I see somebody saying that Malcolm is a devout Catholic, all things considered. You can't be a devout Catholic and break the 9th commandment as consistently as he does.
Is worse off for it.
Well, how so?
Jordan was literally homeless in a state that they were not from, had no money.
Nope. Incorrect. Jordan was never homeless. So here's something I will make public. I don't even remember if I did in the video I did. Jordan wasn't just told, hey, you have to leave now. Jordan was given half a year to save up money and find a place to live. After living with us for 2 years rent-free. I'm going to be that guy. If you cannot find a place to live and save up money when your rent is like, I think it was, what, $200 a month? And you have a full-time job? That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. That means you didn't actually put any effort in anything. Because you actually can, within an hour, I could find a place in Houston under their budget. The truth of the matter is, Jordan just went home. Jordan just went right back to their mother. That's where they went. At no point were they ever homeless.
Didn't even graduate high school.
Well, I was actually going to say something. Quick.
Go ahead.
I just want to point out, earlier he said gay harem, and I didn't catch this at the time, but how would it be gay if they were all AFABs?
Gay fabs.
Oh.
Well, that and, trans, so obviously Malcolm, and I do as well, like, is going to consider them to be the gender they identify as, so. Now, you can give a lot of criticism to the found family. Lord knows even I do, too. But calling it a harem's kind of stupid and dishonest.
Well, hold on. But here's the problem with even that, right? He's Catholic.
Now you're going to have to walk me through that.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I like, of all the Catholics I've ever met, they're not exactly welcoming to the trans community, right? So.
Possibly, but I don't know. I think it's more of, I honestly don't think he's as devout as he wants to believe he is. I think he just uses it as
that's literally what I'm getting at.
I don't know. I think you can be devout without people who claim to be XYZ thing, like, accepting you. Because there were a lot of people who didn't accept me, and I'm none of those things. And I'm very devout about what I believe. You know that. You get annoyed that I talk about it.
Okay. So when I think devout, I include dogma in that. And culture in that. Like, when I think devout, I'm thinking drone.
Oh, I don't.
So, like whenever you're you're not a part of a denomination. He is.
Fair.
Closest that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, closest thing to me is a Pentecostal, because that's how I was raised. But, yeah, I guess that's fair. Anyways.
Has lived with Lio has incredibly negative things to say. These are emotionally damaged young people moving in with somebody.
Wait, so hold on. Just because they have emotionally negative or terribly negative things to say, that means that I must be obviously a problem? Every single one of those people I was able to unquestionably prove were liars. You can say what you want about the video. It still highlighted these people are liars. So he's looking at obvious fact and just ignoring it.
Who claims that they can help him or help them, whichever one it may be, moves to a different state, new people, doesn't work out for whatever reason, abandoned, raped, homeless, on the side of the street, shaking a fucking cup because this guy decided that it was a good idea for him to play Wayward Home for rape Discord kids and not be able to help them in any kind of meaningful way.
So a couple things.
What type of deranged, like, fan fiction do you have the right to, where not only do you want to convince people that's true, but you hopefully, or would think at least, that you believe that yourself and you're giddy by it? What's wrong with you?
And I'm pretty sure she wasn't homeless. I've never heard that. I've talked to Jordan. That never came up. So I don't know where that's coming from. Number two.
Jordan go then.
Away. I don't remember. I don't remember where she went, but she was.
Notice how the goalpost moved. It went from that didn't happen to, well, where'd she go then? When he provided no evidence to his claim.
Wasn't in a street holding a cup. She had a job. Okay. So
not hyperbolic, Malcolm. Dishonest. You are being dishonest.
Well, the thing is is that I wasn't even being literal there. I assumed he was using the cup thing as a metaphor for homelessness.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, so I used it in the same way. Like, whatever.
Correct.
No, she actually got like an actual job.
In Texas,
yes.
That
am I wrong about that, by the way?
No, Jordan had a job at the time.
All right, that's what I thought. So, like, there were people that were, like, telling me behind the scenes that was wrong. And I'm like, wait, was it? Because I was pretty sure she got a job. That was how she was able to afford all of the delivery meals. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, they had a job.
An admission. Because
Lio took forever not Lio. She took forever to get said job. He had to force her to get a job.
True. I had to constantly get on their back about it because they actually had a job after they first came down here, quit out of nowhere, no 2 weeks, no nothing. And from what I recall, we're hoping that we just have enough and kick them out in like a desperate plea for attention by not getting another job.
Man, I needed that cat nap. Holy shit. I feel way better now.
Well, I'm glad you're among the living again.
But yeah, she did get a job. Secondly, more importantly, I would argue that being homeless is a better alternative than what she claims her life was like where she was living. So
she wouldn't have been homeless if this situation wasn't contrived from the start.
They were never homeless to begin with, so womp womp, Malcolm.
Because dude, hold on. I just want to point out, like, am I wrong in this take? Be at home with neglectful mother that allows a man to grope me in my sleep or be homeless. Like, which one is preferable?
I mean, the Bible says that it's better to dwell in the wilderness with a contentious woman, and I imagine a molesting man's worse, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, me personally, I would rather be homeless. Like, I don't know. Like... I don't think that's entirely insane.
Yeah, I don't either, because same.
I don't agree with that.
Actually, you know what? Let's have a little fun, Plaid. Let's ask the chat. Let's end the first poll, which they've decided, by the way, giving kids access to porn is a lot closer to being a groomer than being friends with another adult. Surprise, surprise. Let's see here.
For a third option, you should say homeless and raped.
No, Vlad.
I mean, groped. Sorry, not raped. Sorry. Gotta get my lore right.
So chat can decide. Continuing.
Okay, what do you think?
And not only do I not agree with that, neither does Jordan.
I don't give a fuck what Jordan agrees with, because when you're in the thick of it...
I don't care what Jordan agrees with. I need a narrative to spin.
When you're in the thick of it, can you see the other side of that coin, or are you locked into your own...
No, not that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Jordan wouldn't agree with she wouldn't have been homeless because she would have been homeless.
I don't care.
If you don't know the backstory, you're making a lot of allegations.
I do know the backstory.
Yeah, the backstory is her...
Yeah, he knows the backstory, which is why he gets multiple things wrong literally all the time.
Mother was neglectful and abusive and was allowing her to be groped in her sleep. So yeah, like that's a better result. Anything's a better result.
The way that it has always been described is that the night that the boyfriend or whatever was coming back or whatever, where everybody was like, I have a great idea, record it. When that was going...
I would love to hear somebody give me a better alternative at the time. Because we didn't have any other options. We literally had everything else involved. The police didn't care. The school didn't care. He had nowhere else to go. What's a better option than the possibility of surveillance? There isn't one.
How old was Jordan at this time, by the way?
17.
And that was... Crap. Well, never mind. I was going to say buy a gun, but... Well...
I mean, we're in America, so that's still an option.
Not the kind of gun I was talking about. I believe in that state you have to be 21 to buy a pistol, so...
But you make school shooting jokes all the time. How did you not catch that?
Oh. Well, I mean, black powder was still an option. She could have went, like, hardcore, like, revolutionary and just,
Dude, that would be amazing. So somebody tried to molest me in my sleep when I was 17, so I pull out a freaking blunderbuss. Pull them away. That'd be amazing.
Doesn't even require a background check. We get shipped right to your door.
True. All right, so no, he has no clue about what actually went on. He is trying his best to run with whatever he's told instead of what actually details happen out there, because he's desperate for a win.
Going on, it was that the mom was just letting the boyfriend come back to get his shit and then leave.
Which is also not what happened. And the funny thing is, he'll sit there later on, right, and screech about the Ichabod stream. Well, you shouldn't let Jordan in that call with Ichabod, yada, yada, yada. But the mom letting the molester come back into the home while Jordan was there, that's fine. No criticism for the mom at all. None. Because it's not a shot at me.
Allegedly.
Is that allegedly? Okay. So.
The problem with that story is that story flip-flops back and forth.
Also true.
So what she told me is different from what she's told other people. So, like, I don't actually know.
Jordan's an unreliable narrator. Why should I believe that we're telling it? Why should I believe Jordan on anything then? Why should I not just look at the facts of what's been presented?
Yeah, you shouldn't,
okay,
because even the facts of the situation are tainted by the unreliable narrator. We don't actually know
then
what's
why are
true.
You citing Jordan's retelling of events to justify and bolster your argument, but to diminish mine?
Because you're the one that's taking Jordan's side in this in order to find a means to weaponize it against Lio.
I'm not taking anyone's side. You said you're.
That's a lie. There's no way he doesn't recognize that's a lie. I'm not taking anyone's side. Anyways, you got anything about Lio I can try to blow up?
Self that Jordan would disagree with me.
By Jordan's
dismissing that?
Because by Jordan's own reasoning, the justification for moving was to get away from an abusive household. That's what she told Lio. That was Lio's motivation in the first place. She was also claiming to be suicidal, which was also part of Lio's motivation in the first place.
Yep. They lived out on their own when they were 18 in, God, what was that state? It wasn't Oregon.
I just sped it up. Is this skipping?
No,
is this skipping for me? Okay.
No, I sped it up because I apparently didn't do it right earlier. But they lived in Nebraska for almost a year, tried to kill themselves. They obviously couldn't live on their own, so that's when we invited them to come in, right? So I guess that somehow means grooming, because invite an adult to live with you. Bizarre behavior.
That justifies moving a teenager in with you that you met on the fucking internet.
Why? I mean, it's still a better alternative to living in an allegedly abusive household.
Yeah, allegedly. You don't even know if that's true. Jordan,
no, I don't. I don't. Like, then that would make Lio a retard, wouldn't it? All right, so
I think we crossed that bridge like what, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
I mean, I don't know, man. Even if, let's assume, right? Let's take a hypothetical. Assume Jordan lied to me. So I showed somebody kindness based on something I thought was real. How am I the loser there? Like in a sane level, like. You could get on to me for showing that kindness. Yeah, and you do. You do bully me about it quite a bit. Lord knows Chris does. But there's nothing inherently wrong with showing kindness.
Absolutely. Yes. He's absolutely retarded. Facts. So, but the thing is that he put no thought into whether or not she was lying to him, which, by the way, she was on multiple... Dude, did you know that whenever I interviewed her, she couldn't even tell me after living there for 2 years...
Why is it skipping? What is going on?
I don't know. It's not on my end.
Oh... That's weird. Like, it just skipped an entire sentence for me.
You want to refresh the page on your end?
Give me a second.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Now it's actually looking better. So when I first got in there, it was like taking up like a small little corner on the right for some reason now. Okay, so now it's full screen somehow. Okay, try now.
All right.
Did for a living. She said it had something to do with driving a truck. Funny enough, the truck that he drove for work has the name of where he works for a living on it.
My love for you is like a truck berserker.
After living there 2 years, she couldn't tell me what he did for a living. And everybody is just taking her word for even half of this. So...
Funny thing is, I don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, like, including Lio. So, yeah, this whole thing is complete bullshit. The reality of the situation, by the way, is that, actually, real quick, have you been in any Predator Hunter communities ever? For any extended period of time?
What do you, like the ones, like, online and shit?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
The ones online, Vlad. As opposed to the Predator hunting communities in real life, where they just set up little shanty towns of Predator hunters.
Oh, they have that. It's called KKK.
No, Vlad. No, they don't. But do you see how dumb that qualifier is? Like, he had to make sure he knew you were talking about online predator hunting groups instead of, like, the roaming, like, bands of predator hunters that roam the Sahara. Stupid.
So, if you've not been in those, you wouldn't understand the dynamic that goes on. The dynamic that goes on is you have a bunch of people LARPing as victims. Whether they actually are or not doesn't really matter. They're obsessed with their own victimhood status, and they go in there...
Yeah, you're describing, like, all the ACC, yeah.
I am, yes.
Not just the ACC, Malcolm. It's you and your community, too, buddy.
And what happens is they go in there.
Which is why you're dumb enough to defend anybody I'm going at, simply the fact I'm going at them. You want them desperately to be a victim.
And they try to garner as much attention as possible from whoever the figureheads of the server are. So in other words, like you brought up a honeypot earlier. I don't think it was a honeypot. What I think happened is that she was going around on her own volition, baiting men into being, well, they were already suspect people anyway, and it's their fault for following suit.
Why would you use that to your advantage as the adult in the situation then if you knew that a child was
I don't
doing
think
this?
he was using it. He wasn't using it to his advantage. In fact, he complained at her for this happening.
True. In fact, one of the things I think is inappropriate that Vlad disagrees with is in the Ichabod stream, I actually fussed at Jordan for having so many people preying on them. And it absolutely bends into like victim blaming on my end. Vlad thinks it was a fair criticism. I don't.
Hold on, let me make something very clear. I think it was a fair criticism. Maybe not in public. That would be my criticism of you doing it, is that you did it in the presence of other people. I think that was better criticism behind the scenes. So, like, I think the general feeling that you had, or the general criticism you had, was completely fair. Just in the company that you did it in was not the best option, is what I'm saying. So,
yeah, I can understand that.
If you actually watch, interesting because I've watched the Ichabod call like more than I would like to admit because everybody and their mom has questions about it. Saying like,
if he watched it so many times, Vlad, which is why he gets so much of it wrong, to the point where, hey, newsflash, everybody, newsflash. It wasn't my stream. Didn't happen on my channel. I had literally no control of it. It's why at the beginning of the stream, despite him watching it so many times, we had to wait for Vita's audio to start working so that the stream can hear him. So, yeah. Funny stuff. Also, to answer, God, what is with everyone's deal with wanting to be Liozop like Malcolm? I heard effing some red furry on Aiden Underground saying you cribbed their story. That furry is an individual by the name of Finnegan, who is a Fox Mafia alumni who has, for unironic years, tried to claim multiple times that he is some form of Fed or law enforcement officer. And whenever he's called on it, he loses his mind. And at some point, I'm going to do either like a 5-minute or 7-minute video or like a YouTube short just bullying this little freak. Because the reason he got removed from the Fox Mafia is because he got caught, fraternizing with a zoophile. Surprise, surprise. But the thing he's saying that I crib from him is, Vlad, he had the evidence this was going to go after you for the porn drive. He was going to get you, man. He was going to get you.
Oh, no.
Funny thing is, after the Fox Mafia... Go ahead.
I mean, this is the same guy who literally said in the Fox Mafia server that he put away a pedophile for 40 years and he worked for some, like, pedophile victims unit bullshit inside of the police station. These are things that don't exist, by the way.
Yeah.
That he claimed he worked for. So, and then he put somebody away for 40 years, and then his only regret was that he wasn't put away for life or some cringe LARPy shit. So, yeah, like I was one of the, I was one of the people that, which there was a couple, I think Pizza might have been another one, I believe, that called this guy out really early on for, lying, because it was very obvious when you heard him in VCs that he was just making it up.
I will give you guys a real quick segue, or not segue, but a sidebar. So the fun thing about the background of Fox Mafia stuff is Vlad and Gallagher were actually banned for a while. They were specifically brought back by one of Cass's mods in Cass to, and I quote, get rid of the blue hairs that Coyote and I apparently brought in. You guys were given an actual list of people to run out, right?
Well, to be fair, Coyote absolutely did bring in a lot of blue hairs. I don't know about your community, but yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but you were given like a literal list of who to run out, right?
Yes.
And I was on that list, right?
One of the first ones on the list, yeah.
So I'm going to tell the chat, one really funny thing about it is that was such a target-rich environment for bullying weirdos. They just got sidetracked on side quests and never even took shots at me.
Dude, we got rid of at least 100 people out of that server, actually.
And when
I first got in there was a guy that was freaking out because an 18-year-old, get this, you're going to love it, okay, got in a relationship with a 17-year-old.
Scandalous.
They lived in the same state, and they met in Discord, and they lived I think it was 20 miles from each other, and that's how they met up. And then I replied with, yeah, I'm 30, my girlfriend's 18. And then the guy lost it and left the server.
Wow. But yeah, it's just... yeah, it was too much of a target-rich environment for Vlad to, like, even go... I wasn't even doing anything at the point. But, like, people like Finnegan making up those stories. It was just too easy and too much of a giant, like, flashing light on her head of please bully me. So you guys never even got to me. Heck, you didn't even get to Coyote. It was amazing. I'm sorry, that was just some background information, some inside baseball. I just had to share with the chat because that is actually really funny.
One, having Jordan be present in that call is ridiculous.
Yes.
At a later date, Lio actually said that it was inappropriate for victims to even confront their
Correct.
abusers.
If they're children, yes, it is inappropriate for them to confront their abusers. They're adults, give them a baseball bat and let them go to town. I don't care.
Excuse me, even though he facilitated that. He also knew that
Tentatively Vita facilitated it, but you've listened to the call so many times, right?
Ichabod would join the call if Jordan was there. So that's part of it as well. And
because Jordan was in his server and posted a link there.
He kept close company with Jordan as young as, 13 years old because that's when the Grizzly incident happened.
Also incorrect. I did not know Jordan when he was 13. I knew Jordan when he was 16. And if he is as researched as he wanted to play pretend that he is, we found out about what Grizzly did to Jordan after we outed Grizzly for a completely separate thing because Jordan recognized him when we were talking about it and produced their DMs with him that were from when they were 13. I'm sorry, Malcolm. You need to learn how to research better. Go ahead, Vlad.
I completely missed this part because he does this thing where he goes on like long-winded diatribes, and you can see it like right now where it's paused, like my soul leaving my body as the ADHD is taking over.
Yeah, it's gish galloping essentially, throwing so much out there that trying to overload you, which is what he does. It's all he does.
So the whole thing, like top to bottom, is just like total fucking brainwash.
It's
like, it doesn't
multiple layers
matter
of stupid,
because a lot of people will use like, oh, it was dumb, it was stupid, whatever. It was malicious. This is an adult man who knows better than to put somebody in this compromising situation. And as I said to you, we have had so many.
That was 6 years ago. You talk about knows better. He knows better, brother. There were a lot of things I never even thought about until people started bringing it up to me years afterwards. Frankly, and if I'm not mistaken, there's even a couple things, Vlad, you brought up to me that I never even thought about would be an issue until you started talking to me about it. Because all you're going to be able to respond to is what the people around you say, what they think. It's why you have to cut people some slack in some cases. Now, Malcolm should know better, because he's in the drama sphere, than to make asinine claims like this with no evidence, because that is the case. It is no evidence, but here he is anyways.
The opportunities to correct this behavior, yet it persists.
I mean, does it? Wait, hold on. It persists? Has he had another minor since then in a call confronting an adult?
If that's what you're focusing on, that specific piece, no. Does he?
That's what you guys were talking about, though.
Yeah, I know.
We continue as a 40-year-old man to engage in 1, these spaces, 2, with minors, and 3, at the expense of the minor? Yes, absolutely.
When? Citation needed, evidence required.
I don't know. Expense of what minor? But actually, we'll get into that later because I don't even agree with that at all. But what I would point out here is that regardless of whether or not regardless of whether or not he's stupid enough to allow the minor to confront her own alleged groomer, it doesn't really take away from the point that Jordan...
That was dumb, but I also want to point out, like, I didn't put the... And this is a comparison he makes later on in the stream. It's like akin to putting them in the same room. No, it's not. It's a Discord call. You're dumb.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Weren't there a bunch of people criticizing you for this, like, after that, like, years before this became hip to talk about?
No.
No? Okay. Because I know this is one of the things I said was, like, I don't think this is, like, an appropriate thing to do. But like, I didn't, like, moral post over it as hard as he's doing here. I was just like, yeah, this is stupid. Like I think I even say in this debate, like, to me, it was just stupid. It wasn't, like, the worstest thing ever. So.
Yeah. So, no. Part of the thing is because you know the lore better, but a lot of people actually don't know the spaces I was in or how the things were. Maybe I'll talk about it one day, but essentially they are ignorant.
Absolutely enjoyed every moment of being there. She wanted the attention.
It's a 17-year-old. It's a child. You as the adult.
I completely agree.
I don't fucking care.
I completely
when
agree.
I was 16 years
but
old,
the problem,
I wanted to smack real bad.
I completely agree.
It's the responsibility of the adult.
I agree.
Not encourage.
Hold on. Iris Kane, get out of my chat. You dishonest weasel. You run around on Twitter talking about how I'm getting involved in drama and how I need to grow from it when you're in Malcolm's chat. And I'm not even going to get into the diaper stuff you draw. Get out of my chat, you weirdo.
I agree, but the problem that you're having here is you're accusing him of intentionally and willfully using her as a honeypot when that doesn't fit the facts, especially since he complained.
To engage with it.
He literally, that whole call opens with him complaining about this being like the fourth time.
Participation is complacence with the act.
Because...
Okay, you're participating in complacency with your server calling a bunch of people predators for no evidence, so you're complicit to that, Malcolm, even though you're going to cry at Vlad for bringing it up later.
He's a retard. Like I don't know. Like unless you have evidence of actual malicious, like he sitting around going, he, this will be great content, guys. I got another guy here.
If the threshold for you is that you need a DM or a recording of Lio saying, yes, I am intentionally doing this because I'm a fucking asshole and an evil person and I hate children and I love people getting raped, then we're never going to beat that threshold.
Yeah, but here's the other issue. Your threshold sucks. And the reason your threshold sucks is you're looking at the outcome of what occurred, and then you're looking at the outcome and inferring intent from that.
No, he's not even doing that, Vlad. He's not looking at the outcome and inferring intent. He wants to come to a specific conclusion and wants to warp things around it to fit.
Well, no. Okay, I think you're misunderstanding what I think I'm saying here. I think what I'm getting at is like, so what he's doing is he's standing outside. He sees a car wreck into another car, right? And then he goes up to the guy that hit the car, and he's like, "You did that on purpose. You were trying to murder them." And evidence? Oh, they ran into the other car. Like, he's just looking at the consequence and then deriving malicious intent from it.
Well, that
based
too.
on nothing. That's my allegation there.
Oh my god, are you guys a cult or something? Yes, we're the worst cult ever because I get no money. I get bullied in my own server. The worst cult ever. I don't even have an actual harem. Like, I have my wife, who I love very much, no problem. I'm the worst cult leader ever, I guess. I don't even have Kool-Aid.
Which I totally disagree with. Because that's what you said in the Ace debate, by the way.
You have to infer.
You do.
I love the sly look at the camera, Vlad.
You do. Yes. But you have to infer, and you can't look at otherwise just happenstance consequences and then infer intent from consequences.
You can infer intent when a rational actor, i.e. the adult in the situation, is complacent in and facilitates these actions repeatedly. Yes, I will infer intent.
I did it repeatedly? I'd love to see some evidence for that.
Also, complacency doesn't equal maliciousness, for the record.
It can, but it doesn't always, so yeah.
Would.
Yeah, I don't think the intent is, gee, golly gosh, I have a honeypot, guys. Yay. I don't think that was the intent.
So we're backtracking again, because let's recenter on that point right there. If we are inferring intent, complacency in an action speaks to intent. When the person who is the reasonable actor, which is the adult in that situation, is complacent in helping facilitate the interaction and does not stop it or say no. That
denotes intent. That doesn't denote maliciousness.
It does, because we know
not
what
necessarily.
The situation is going to be, yes.
No, actually, I think he's just insane and stupid. What's the saying?
And it tells me that on a daily basis, just so everybody's aware.
What's the saying go? Why attribute to malice what is more easily explained with stupidity?
Because he's a 40-year-old man who has a history of being an online predator hunter and thought that this was a brilliant idea, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, also,
again, wasn't even my idea.
Describes themselves as the expert.
Well, also,
Vlad, you are a Lio historian. Did I ever say I was an expert at any of this?
You have said I am a pedophile hunter a dozen times. I don't. And then you would appeal to the amount of years you've done it, but I don't remember you ever explicitly using the word expert or expertise or professional or anything that would denote that.
Because there is no professionalism for online predator exposing, which, as you've said, is the more correct phrase. We just use predator hunter because that's what we've used forever. But no, I've never once said I'm a professional in this. Brother, the actual profession I do for a living isn't anywhere close to this. So he, again, is just making up more things to run with to make him sound like he's smart.
And this is our expert.
Yeah, beyond that, you can't be a professional because obviously that is solely reserved for Mama Max.
Hold on here. Let's see if I can do this. Hello, my little children. Somebody has hurt one of my little ones. Let me get out my chicken mask.
God. He also saw this person as his kid. Right? Whether you
Which is freak shit.
Maybe. But the
yes.
point...
I don't want to hear about freak crap from Malcolm, who's server owner or creator. May have been found in a degenerate furry server. I don't know.
It's fucking weird. But the point is, he was doing that and had some kind of emotional, fatherly defense, and that is a consistent pattern with Lio. That again doesn't.
Yeah, it's a consistent pattern. I have high empathy because I'm a moron. I mean, I've said this myself. Potato, I am going to, but because it's taken so long, I'm doing something very special for him, okay?
You have a kid, and your emotional brain tells you, I have an idea. This guy raped my kid. Let's go over to his house with my kid and let my kid ask him about it.
That's the exact same thing. You're right, Malcolm. 100% the same thing. No difference at all between a chat room and real life. Huh. I don't think that works.
It's stupid. Yeah. It's dumb. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I mean, fine. But again, that's not a honeypot.
It is a honeypot if you know that this person will get in the call if the person that they're abusing.
A honeypot is to entice somebody to do an illegal action. And in the case of dealing with predators, to get them to sexually assault the child, quote unquote child, because usually the honeypots aren't real, in order to try to catch them in something. So even with that, he's wrong on what that means. And on top of that, the most common form of honeypotting has to do with cybersecurity. This is so dumb.
Isn't a fucking call.
Well, also, I didn't want to get into definitions again at this point, like, because the first 20 minutes, like, where we were bickering over the word groomer was grueling.
Yeah, I know. It was a pain in the butt because he just couldn't, he didn't want to grasp it. I'm not going to say he couldn't, he didn't want to.
Jordan, come and talk to Jordan about it. Jordan's here. Jordan wants to hear you out. Come on.
Well, it wasn't Jordan wants to hear you out. It was a get in call, you stupid slime ball.
Yeah. Well, actually, what it was is that Jordan actually wanted to engage in that conversation,
and it is the adult's responsibility to shut that down. The minor.
Cool. Where was your adult responsibility to shut down what Sai was doing when you knew full well, to the point where even Mars bars went to you and you rejected it, saying, "Let her screw up"? Where was your concern for children then? Oh wait, it only matters if it's me when you can get clout from it.
Cool. I want you to fuck me. Does not... You basically fuck the minor.
So you're saying. So you're saying.
He needs to work on his hyperbole. He sucks at this.
It is actually impossible for Lio to have basically just been retarded and thought that was a good idea in the moment. You think that's impossible?
No, you don't get to claim expertise in an area and then fuck up this badly. No.
Good thing I
didn't.
Well,
the thing is, too... Oh, hold on. Even if you did, you can be professional and fuck up. How many people die from malpractice a year? What's that stat?
How many people die from car collisions from professional drivers? How many people die from aircraft accidents with professional pilots who have professional engineers, professional mechanics work on their professional grade vehicle? Like, it's a dumb point. Now, there's some legitimacy to it. First of all, only if that is like the main running thing. I'm a professional. Profession implies a lot of things. I don't believe I've ever once said I was a professional at any of this, okay? I did the best I could. That's about all I can and ever would have done. But again, he is trying so hard to focus on this one point that doesn't even match what's actually being said or the definitions behind it, that he's getting lost in it and doesn't actually know how to engage you. Also, the chat has decided 90% would prefer to be homeless than live with a molester, so womp womp again, Malcolm. Continuing.
And again, this is, unless you want to tell me that he has like a TBI, like he got fucking kicked in the head or dropped as a baby or something.
Traumatic brain injury. No, but I'm pretty sure you do, Malcolm, with the way you act.
Something.
Might have. I don't know. I'm not going into his childhood. I know he was molested, and raped or something as a kid, allegedly.
All the fucking time.
Yeah, I bring it up all the time. Not you. Not you bring it up. I bring it up all the time. I wonder why somebody who constantly parades about being Catholic, and I want to be clear, this is not a shot at other Catholic people, okay? I wonder why he'd want people who are being molested to be quiet about it. Interesting.
No, brought it twice ever, but yeah. Like, okay.
I know, yeah. 2 times too many. That we all know less about.
But outside of the Ichabod.
Yeah, that I don't feel like I even had a choice to not bring up because of the stunt that, oddly enough, Cass Warfox pulled. Somehow he got a hold of the Lumi call, published it, and that's where it's brought up. Didn't really have much of a chance to put the cat back in the bag there.
Odd thing. Well, I mean, hold on, to be fair, I think the internet would be a better place if people just stopped talking about how they were molested at all, period. That's nobody's business, and that's a skill issue. But secondly, more importantly than that, I would ask, what were the other times involving a minor that he included the minor into the conversation to confront a groomer?
I told you, void of that one, there are other things that I'm looking at, because to my knowledge, the only time that he ever did that was with Jordan, but there are other patterns of behavior that I'm looking at as well, which is what I said earlier.
Okay.
Now, will he specify them? No, because they don't exist.
But you're talking about a honeypot in the confines of the Jordan thing.
Correct.
So he did a honeypot once, but you're looking at
once
patterns.
Is too many.
What you're doing, but like I'm saying allegedly a honeypot. You did it one time.
Sure.
And then
there's
there's
other things that I said. Do you remember?
But there are patterns of behavior that fortify this one instance of. I'm confused.
Yeah. So when I'm looking to categorize somebody as something, I'm looking at different things that factor into. I have a set of criteria, and if they meet that set of criteria, then I will comfortably use.
On the Edge fan, I want you to go to my channel, and I want you to see when my addressing things video came out, where I had to address some of that stuff. And when the Lumi call came out, and when the Jar call came out. Find the timeline for that, okay?
That label for somebody. So.
Wait, hold on. I misread that. In your call with Jar, you bring up your past as a point for why Jar effed up with Sydney's situation. Malcolm showed no empathy whatsoever. I'm not surprised. He can claim all day long that he cares about kids, and that's why he wants me gone, and all this. He doesn't. He never has.
When I'm thinking of Lio, the honeypot thing is obviously the Jordan example here. If there are other examples, I'm not aware of them right now. One.
But he'll claim that I do it. Right?
Is enough for me. Following that, we have several...
Okay, you screwed up allegations once before with Poppy and Xena. So by your own standards, that should be enough for you, and you can't do it anymore.
Instances of Lio 1, not only allowing minors in the Discord, but inviting minors specifically into the Discord to talk. 2, orbiting minors, keeping close company with minors. And 3, continuing this found family bullshit after it didn't fail once, twice, but thrice.
okay, the only time I had minors in my server, meaning a server I ran, was like Book of Omens, which was centered around my non-Predator YouTube stuff, which, by the way, I didn't even do much of on my channel, personally. That we moderated like Mad Men. And again, he can't complain about that when Sai had them in her server, and he did not care. One thing you can always... Okay, here, I need to make this clear. What people say may not inherently be what they actually believe. And the one way you can test this is consistency. So, if he's getting on to me for minors being in a server, but not on to Sai, who is his friend, that is a horrific inconsistency for at least one reason, not about another else. You should hold your friends to a higher standard than just random people. At least that's what I believe.
Dude, I never even considered that, I don't even know how I didn't consider that until just now. Yeah,
it's all good.
Because she's 43 years old, and childless, by the way. Because bear in mind, he makes it a point to mention you're childless, and runs a server where she has people, as far as we know, as young as 15 in that server, where there's 240 plus mentions of cum.
Yep.
This is disregarding a multitude of other issues, including but not limited to her justifying 15-year-olds being in servers where there's 240 mentions of cum. Like, she literally justifies that. Like, she actually literally makes an argument of why that's not that bad. But how I'm worse for making a rape joke after she labeled me the rape guy because I defended another person who did actually make the initial rape joke.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb.
Not surprised. Also, to those concerned about Vlad's comments about no one should talk about it, that's because Vlad's been in a lot of spaces where people just make things up or make it such a central part of their personality that they just tell everybody in order to get attention. That's why Vlad has that, opinion about all that. Vlad's gonna make edgy jokes. That's who he is. All right. It's not inherently a moral failing. All right. All right.
And still kind of doing this online dad shit. There's a long list of criteria where I'm ticking boxes, and when I tick enough boxes...
And to be clear, he doesn't actually have a criteria box. What he does is he tries his best to find ways to make things conform to what he wants to believe, which is pretty obvious by the end of the stream.
And I see it repeated many times. I'm comfortable using a label.
Oh, I have a question. How many minors in what server?
The Cat Slayer, or not Cat Slayer, Senate was like 16 plus at one point,
it was 16 plus before Lio got control of the Senate.
Correct. Believe it or not, I did not make that server or have control of it for the entirety of its run.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Lio has control of Senate and that he made it 18 plus when he did. I mean, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it doesn't suit my point.
Actually matters a lot, but go on.
It doesn't matter to me at all. Like
that matters a lot.
And in fact, I actually think that Sarah made it 18 plus even before I got a hold of it. Frankly.
Keeping company with, like, I have a hard time because it's like I don't understand in what other circumstance it would ever be acceptable for this. If you're a fucking adult, if you're 40 fucking years old.
Also, I want to be clear, when I brought kids into Senate to talk to them, they had no access to anything. It was literally just ask them questions about things that were going on and nothing else. Which, of course, he would know if he actually paid attention.
Why are you hanging out with 16-year-olds on the internet? 15, 16-year-olds. Why?
Hanging out with them. Talking to them on occasion is hanging out with them? Man. I sure hope that Malcolm doesn't have anybody in his Catholic church that has kids that he occasionally talks to. Otherwise, he's a groomer, too.
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't disagree with that, but there's a lot of people that do it. So I don't know.
I'm talking about a lot of people.
I would ask, like, why does Hasbro have a fucking Discord? Like, I don't know.
The funny thing is, Vlad, I didn't even know that. I didn't know Hasbro had a Discord.
I don't know if they do. I just pulled that out of my ass.
Oh no! I accidentally went too far. Let's try this again. Did I accidentally move it?
What do you call, like, hanging out and chatting on Discord? What do you call
that? I think going into a server to hang out with kids and that being the intention, I would agree with you. But if you're going into a server...
if he goes in there to do something and then he hangs out and loiters after, so like I go to the bank to deposit a check, but then I stay in the bank and I socialize with all the bank tellers for a few hours after, you would say, no, you just went there to deposit a check. You didn't go there to socialize at all. Those two things.
Well, you may go there to cash a check, but you can still socialize. But the thing about all that is, I said, like, what was it, Vlad? Like 12 messages in the entirety of the server? And frankly, I've joined like a billion servers and I keep forgetting to leave. I'm not sitting there in calls with them all the time, hanging out and having hee-hee. Like, this is the dumbest attempt at a gotcha he's had, like, the entire time. It's actually embarrassing he thought that was smart.
things can't exist together?
I mean, they could, but the problem is you have to define what's weird here. The mere act of a
it's an adult
40-year-old
man socializing in a friendly way with children.
Okay, then why is it you never levied this complaint to all the other adults that were in that server?
Because I am a drama slot creator. I'm not a fucking
Okay,
pedophile.
so then you don't actually care. Then why are you yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, why are you making a big deal out of it? I mean, you have to care if you're calling it.
He only cares if it's a person he thinks he can make money off of dogging on.
I want to clarify something, by the way, real quick, because there were people after this stream that were saying something that is just woefully incorrect. People were assuming that I was throwing Glass Raven under the bus here. Like I was... Now, granted, I would criticize Glass Raven for being in that server, just like I criticized you for being in that server. Yeah. I think being in a server with minors in it is dumb. But that isn't throwing her under the bus. I'm not trying to get him to redirect all of his attention at Glass Raven. That isn't the point. The point is to point out the inconsistency of his logic, that there's no excuse for an adult to be in a server with minors in it. And then when I point out the inconsistency of that value, he says, well, actually, just Lio. So that's the problem.
Yeah, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to say that this is a principled, like, morality view, but until he's called about his consistency. Then it's well, I'm a drama slop, and he's my focus. It can't be both. It has to be one or the other. Anyways, continuing.
Did
you called it inappropriate.
What is the verbiage?
You're literally moral over this topic. That's what you're doing.
Good job, Vlad.
I find it concerning. Yes.
Concerning? Oh,
yes,
so you kind of have to care to find it concerning.
Yeah, because it's the drama content that I'm interested in, yes. I'm not a pedophile in here. It is not my prerogative to go around and find every single person that's a freak on the internet and make a video on them.
I don't know.
But he will also make it his prerogative to ignore when his friends are being freaks and actively just say, well, it's not my problem. But the people he's going after, like, that's his problem.
You call him a pedo an awful lot for somebody that
I have never called Lio.
You literally called him pedo-coded yesterday.
I said he was a spiritual.
You called him pedo-coded yesterday.
This is Lio. Like, this is when he was observing the minors. Very weird, very weird. You observe minors, you guys. What is more pedophile coded?
Literally.
Yeah. Being you at any given time, Malcolm. Because what I've noticed about people like you is 9 times out of 10, anybody who's tried calling me a pedophile, tend to be one themselves. So, would it surprise me if I find that out about Malcolm later on? No, it wouldn't. I don't like it. I literally made a public post earlier last week about how, please stop touching kids. If you're obsessed with me, please stop. But he's trying to play the semantic game. Well, I'm not calling him pedophile. I'm calling him pedophile adjacent. I'm calling him lowercase p pedophile. Malcolm, you wouldn't actually know what a pedophile is. You'd probably let them run around your server and have hee-hee so long as they're insulting me.
He's fully aware. He knows what a pedophile is. He was definitely an altar boy.
Vlad, come on.
That is literally the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make a distinction between that and calling somebody a pedophile.
Fine, you don't have to. It's a free country.
Yeah, nobody would make that distinction. Also, same thing with calling him a predator. You're implying that he's intentionally going out of his way to groom children. Yeah, it's insane.
I think it is intentional, yes.
Yeah, you think it's intentional based...
I want to be clear here. His value about being a groomer means that trying to prepare somebody for a task or a role to fulfill an emotional need. By that definition, every single content creator is a groomer, including Malcolm. Because what do you want your audience to do? Pay attention and listen to you. What does it do? It validates you as a person. It validates the content you put out there to have people listen and people enjoy the content. So you are trying to appeal to those people in order to do so. Malcolm is also a groomer by the very standard he tries to set against me. What he's trying to do, and he knows it, he's trying to use a word in the most vague and broad way possible, knowing full well what people are going to think the minute they hear that word.
He's pedo-jacketing.
Yes, he is.
While trying... He's pedo-jacketing while trying to pretend like he's not, because he knows that his entire argument has a very poor foundation.
If any at all. And the Bible does talk about making a foundation on sand, so there you go, Malcolm. There's your biblical reference.
He's relying, which I call him out on it, he's relying on other people to fill in the blanks that he doesn't have the balls to directly say.
Correct. Let's continue.
It's on very loose information, yes.
On the information that has been provided, yes, I'm comfortable making that statement.
That's an insane leap. I need a lot more than that. Like, I don't...
You do.
Like an example of something that would be a lot more than that is, again, the bad thing is his emotional need. Is that it? Like, to be a father, was that the agreed upon bad goal of communicating with minors and grooming and all that?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, right.
So now we've already confirmed that if you adopt kids legally, Malcolm thinks you're a groomer. If your motive is, I would like to take care of a child, I would like to be a parental figure.
I mean, there is a stat for that.
Of course. course there is. Moving on.
I'm making sure, just so I'm not misquoting you. So my question here is, why is that bad?
Why is it bad for somebody that has a child that dies in an accident? Why is it bad for them to kidnap a baby and raise the baby as their own?
That's not what...
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Dude, that caught me off guard. I didn't even know where the fuck that came from. Like, I was what?
Well, and he's like, oh, he groomed these children. Nobody in my found family was ever like underage when that happened. What is this idiot even going on about? It's amazing how dishonest he's being. Like, I'm almost impressed. In fact, Malcolm, I think the only person who lies more than you is the devil. I mean, gotta be biblical again for a second. I mean, one of his biggest things is being a false accuser of the brethren. I mean, you might as well just step into those shoes, buddy.
What's happening here? That's not what's happening here. You're taking this to a further extreme.
What's wrong with that?
With kidnapping?
What's wrong with somebody just like finding a kid on the street and being like, well, this can be mine now, I guess, since my kid died. What's wrong with
Nothing. Put the child in a catapult and toss him. Free baby chunks for everybody. No, it's an insane leap in logic. Hi, person I know. Would you like to have a family unit based on XYZ thing, even though you are a functional adult? That's the same as kidnapping. A cognitive person who is able to make their own decisions is the same as kidnapping a literal infant on the side of the road.
That's kidnapping. That's what's wrong with it.
Okay, so abstract thinking. Is that the question? Okay, so the issue...
That's not abstract thinking, Malcolm. You were appealing to an absurdity, hoping that it would throw him off, and you're just bad at it.
Issue with it specifically is that you are using somebody who has diminished capacity in order to satiate some kind of emotional need that you have at the expense of that individual. Because
you mean like you do a Dreamer, Malcolm? Where you take somebody who you claim has diminished capacity and you use them to fulfill your emotional need of trying to come after me? It's what you do. So I guess by your definition, you are also a groomer. Congratulations, you're a groomer.
If we have somebody else's best interest at heart, we do what's best for them, not what's best for us.
Is there any circumstance where that same thing could happen?
Wait, hold on. We do what's best for them, not what's best for us. Was it really the best for me to give people a whole bunch of money and let them live without having to pay rent? I mean, was that really the best thing for me? I don't think it was.
Was it really the best thing for you?
Here we go.
To prevent an innocent AFAB from smoking in your house?
Clearly not. I'm a monster. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm a monster. God.
Not be at the expense of the kid.
Yes, but it's not going to be with a freak pedophile hunter that failed online in a different state that you've never met in real life that is way too emotionally invested in the circumstances around the events to be able to provide that environment for them. No.
So
you shouldn't be invested emotionally in events when you're trying to help somebody concerning those events? Keep in mind, Malcolm's apparently Malcolm's apparently a psychology major, to keep in mind, and he's this bad at it.
Trying to figure out is how is this so horrible as to imply that he's a kidnapper, as you just did.
That's not an implication. That's not what an implication.
Yeah, it's an implication. Come on.
It's a hypothetical question.
It's a hypothetical that makes no sense because it's absurd.
No. It was actually a comparison. Yeah. He was trying to equate you, by his logic, orbiting Jordan as the same as you just kidnapping a kid off the street. It was literally a moral comparison. That's what he was doing.
I mean, who would even kidnap a kid off the street? Like, instead what you should do is you should just go to the local high school and see how many 10th graders you can beat in a fight before the cops show up. I mean, that's obviously what you should do.
Seriously, who would do that? I know that every time I play Fallout New Vegas and I see that kid chasing the possum, I'm deeply upset. The thought of kidnapping the kid never comes to mind. I'm just upset that I can't shoot the kid.
Of course you are.
The game won't let me.
Yeah, then you have me. When I play Halo, I refuse to shoot any of the Marines, not because they'd turn on me, but because it'd make me feel bad.
Comparison. Yeah, it is. But the point I'm trying to make here is you're putting all of these big words like predator. What we're thinking of is somebody that's creeping up on kids to fuck them in the ass. Groomer, trying to use a strategy. Well, I mean, there's other examples of predatory behavior, like people that are mentally ill or scammers. Yeah, whatever. Sure.
Those are predators.
Yes. But I'm going to tell you a secret. If I say that the scammer is a predator, exactly 0% of people are going to think he caused a 90-year-old woman to lose $100. Nobody's going to think that
because you're targeting a.
They're also not going to think that they are being hunted in the wilderness by a leopard. He knows what he's doing.
I understand it's factually predatory, but what I'm saying is that
so you're referring to colloquial definitions. I don't care about that.
No.
He doesn't care about colloquial definitions, but he will rely on them.
See, the problem that I have here is that you're using these words purposefully to allow your audience to fill in the blanks and using their colloquialisms to say the things that you don't have the balls to say. That's my point.
I have said,
you're a
weaseling. No, I've said many times I think that LioConvoy is a predator, is a groomer, is an active danger to intellectually disabled people, and an active danger to children. I have said that clearly. I've said clearly many times, to my knowledge, nothing sexual has occurred. But these are the standard use of these words. Not saying anything sexual happening. He's not fucking them, to my knowledge. Hopefully not. We can pray. But that these words are still applicable, and I quantify that when I say it.
Yeah.
Your quantifiers and qualifiers mean nothing when you know what you're trying to convince people of. Now, his evidence that I'm
where was the...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, where was the qualifier with that's pedo-coded? Where was the qualifier there?
Good question. I mean, there's also the question of, I don't know, how am I a danger to mentally disabled people, like, constantly? Yeah, I've yelled at some, one at least, I shouldn't have, but the majority of the quote-unquote mentally disabled people I deal with are malicious and know exactly what they're doing. So what he did in the unedited stream is he like a lot of other people try to say, oh, Lio, he bullies the disabled, it's wrong. It's like, go look at why I bullied them. Go look at why I bullied them. Unless you're going to tell me that it's okay to be a kid toucher if you have a disability, I don't want to hear it. And you're a dishonest freak. You know what you're doing. Rushing to defend creeps, weirdos, and predators just so you can try to get an own on me is actually deranged, and you should kill yourself over it. Like, even when Vlad was beefing with me, when he found out somebody was like that in his spaces, he got rid of them. Because that's what a sane person does. And I actually feel really bad that you had to vet so many people. That had to be miserable.
If he knew the amount of times me and my server bullied Bunny Chan out of the server, like, if he knew... You see, but actually, no, he probably still wouldn't come after me, actually, which is interesting. But yeah, I have probably bullied more mentally ill people by his standards than you have.
Yes, but he wouldn't get clout from talking about you.
Probably not.
The worst thing you can point to with anything he's done, I guess, is causing Jordan to have to find a new place to live in a state that she wasn't a native to. Cool, I guess. But the other ones, what? One, he told he couldn't smoke in the house, and they threw a fit about it. By the way, Jordan's biggest complaint about Lio, I forgot to mention this, was that he neglected her, which is pretty funny. Also, on top of that, Peaches? But Lio did nothing bad to Peaches from what I've seen. In fact, he gave her $8,000. Jordan, he allowed to live rent-free in his house for 2 years straight.
I don't do this like morality scale where you do so many good things that it outweighs the bad things. I don't do that because I think that's stupid. I can judge
No, this isn't a morality scale. What it is pointing out is that if his intention was to do bad thing at the expense of the other people, that was a very costly endeavor on his behalf.
Do you think that you can have good intentions to do something and still hurt someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think that in an instance, so this, I'm not saying this is one. Okay. For an example, your grandma is dying right now, Gilded. She's dying. She's on a ventilator. Okay. It's not looking good. Okay. But grandma has said previously, it's never been written down. She doesn't have like a DNR or anything. She said, I don't want to be kept alive by machines and tombs, Gilded. Please don't let me stay alive on a machine. And you say, okay, grandma. In the moment, you're emotional and you're upset and you are not ready to let grandma go into the forever box. So you, against her wishes, keep her on the ventilator for an extended period of time to satiate your needs. Do you think that that's a good or a bad outcome?
I think it's a bad outcome.
Well, that and it wouldn't even be your call.
Yeah. True. And I did want to point out here, by the way, I want to emphasize this further because I just find it really funny. No, Jordan went on like a fucking 20-minute rant in my call with her about how you neglected her, like you never paid attention to her, you hid in your room all the time, or you were at work, and like and that whenever you were confronted on it, you said, well, I have a door, you can knock on it at any time, and dude, it was like a whole like she seemed more upset over this alleged neglect than literally anything else she claimed.
Well, the funny thing is, number one, he's at work. Sorry? I kind of have to pay bills for the house you lived in for 2 years with no rent? And yeah, I did tell them, you can knock on my door anytime. In fact, if you want a fun fact, Vlad, you said you went through all my content, right? At least most of it that you can remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Halo stream I did?
Which one?
I only did one.
Wait, okay, you mean stream? Because there was a video where you were playing Halo in it.
Yeah, that was a B-roll footage, but no, an actual stream. The one stream I did on Halo. There is a long period where I am standing still and completely inactive because Jordan came to my door and was having a meltdown, and I went to go take care of Jordan instead of just ending the stream. So it's just lying and manipulation. Now, you wouldn't have known that Like, at all. Because I didn't tell the stream what I was doing. But, yeah, when I said my door was open, that means if you need me, come to me. And they did, multiple times. When you are an adult, and there were also times I said, hey, you want to go do this? You want to do that? No. What they would do is they would go into their room, get on Discord, and play music loud enough to wake the dead. I did what I could, right? I'm not magic. I can't make somebody do anything, even if they live in my house. Neglect, you're an adult.
Okay, so that's my point. Is that even if we go into things with good intentions, there can still be bad outcomes.
But the problem
even
is,
if the intention here is to help somebody, you know, you see somebody who's homeless and you want to help, you give them $10, maybe they go and buy smack and overdose. I just fucking killed this dude, essentially, right? Even
you didn't guess this, but that is actually also insane logic. If you give a homeless guy $10 in good faith because you're trying to help somebody, and they overdose on smack and die, how is that?
No, I caught it. I caught it. That was the reason for the smile. Because I was just like, this is insane. Because I do not like his consequentialist arguments. They piss me off a lot. Because later on, like, I cut this part out because it was just it carried on too long. But there's a part where I ask him, like, do you know the difference between manslaughter and murder? And he's like, yeah, they're two different words. And I'm just sitting here, it's like, if you know the difference, then why is it earlier in the conversation you're like, you still killed the guy if you gave him $10 and he overdosed? Like, he is intentionally ignoring and disregarding intent to justify his consequentialist argument of malice. And I take great issue with this. This is what we call in the business woke scold logic.
I'd actually call it worse. It's just dishonesty. And the reason it's dishonesty, he uses this consequentialist argument about me. But in the stream, the unedited one, he's about to get upset with you for not moderating his server better, when by his own logic, he gave information he knew his chat would run with. They run with the wrong conclusion, and he just lets them do it.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's just dishonest. Unfortunately, his audience is just dumb enough to buy it.
My intention was good. I'm evaluating not only the intentionality behind an action, like this is what I am choosing to do, even if you anticipate that this will have a good outcome, or you anticipate it will have a bad outcome. It is an intentional, conscious choice that you were making, and then looking at the outcome after the fact. That's what I'm evaluating.
Yes, but the problem is, you said malicious. You can't be malicious and have positive intent at the same time.
Correct.
You are correct, and it depends on the action, which is why I gave you a laundry list of different actions. I would say that with the Jordan...
It doesn't depend on the action.
Yeah, I know. It's so insane.
Like, okay, if I have somebody entering my home, let's assume I do, like, use a gun. I wouldn't, but let's assume I do. And the intruder is in my line of sight, and I pull the trigger, and one of my cats jumps in the way in the middle of it, and I kill the cat and him. My intention was good. The outcome was still bad. That doesn't mean that I should be judged for the outcome that I couldn't control. That I had no ability to recognize the y-axis of. It's insane logic. By his own thought, he should never do anything, say anything, or be involved in anything on the off chance that it's going to go wrong.
To respond to Morbid, because Morbid thinks this would have been different if it was a private call. Look, it actually wasn't me that offered this discussion. It was him. It was his his rules or whatever. He's like, we could talk about this live if you want. I was not the one that posed this or initiated any of this. I initiated it in so much as a reply to a tweet, but ultimately it was Malcolm that said we should have a stream about it.
And I'm pretty sure he probably regrets that at this point. Frankly.
Maybe.
Frankly.
The Ichabod shit or the making content, the predator hunting, I would say that was malicious. I think that probably...
It was malicious to get in Ichabod's face? Huh. It was malicious to do predator hunting. Apparently.
Like, with purest of intentions, he probably did want to help Jordan, but that's part of the thing that I'm looking at with the intent, with like the intention, conscious thought, and then the pattern of behavior where we've made this mistake several times, and we're not helping.
I have? I've made the mistake that I did with Jordan several times. What mistake would that be, Malcolm? The thing that you just make up and have no evidence for?
More we're hurting. And we've had plenty of opportunities to correct and course correct and assess, I'm making this worse, and then we continue to do it anyway at the expense of others to make him feel good, to make him feel like Papa Bear, to make him feel like a protective, bear keeping his cubs safe and shit like that. That is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but that isn't necessarily malicious though. Like, I don't think Lio's consciously...
When you are aware that the outcome is bad.
You mean the thing I wasn't even aware of to a lot of outcomes were bad until like what, last year? Maybe the year before? Which is why I stopped doing some of these things. Which for the
but just because... sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, just because an outcome is bad doesn't mean you immediately learn that the decision to continue that behavior necessarily means that it would lead to the same outcome, right?
Yeah.
So like you can do the same thing 3 times, have 3 different outcomes. Just because one of those outcomes is bad doesn't necessarily mean the rest will. Like nobody makes these kind of meta analyses of their actions. Like nobody does this. So like, yeah, I mean, after it happened a few times, yeah, maybe like you would be like, huh, there's a pattern here, but you can't come to that conclusion until there's a pattern of outcomes, which requires you to mess up multiple times.
Yeah. And to know
that's how learning works.
And to know it's a problem. It's just he knows what he's doing. He just knows his audience is really stupid.
Like, I do not think Lio is consciously thinking I'm doing this to jerk myself off.
If I did, that'd be the dumbest way to do it.
It doesn't have to be conscious for him to know that
it has to be. It has to. Yeah, well, no, but the other problem is that we could just say he's insane.
Wait, it doesn't have to be conscious for you to know the thing is bad? What? The only way you have an understanding of if something is bad is if you're conscious about it, stupid!
Like, that's the other downside. So,
I think that's a cop-out.
It's not a cop-out, because there's no evidence to go one way or the other. It's literally just
there's no evidence that he's insane. If
you're repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result would be that would be evidence of him being insane. And I never said anything about a literal mental illness. I said that he could just be insane.
That's just him like choosing to make the wrong choice over and over again.
Yeah, because he's retarded.
No, because I think that he's a bad person. That's why.
I can't believe. Number one, good camera work. Secondly, he's a bad person. Brother, I've seen what you do and I've seen what you talk about and I see what you ignore. Don't even talk to me about bad people. You are one of them. And that's not even getting into like the theological issues I have with how he conducts himself and what he does. Because for a guy who sits there and essentially tries to act like the papacy over here all the time, he doesn't know how he's supposed to conduct himself. I'm sorry, but if you're supposed to be representing the church in one way or another, you don't get to act mean girl. I'm sorry, but you don't. And on top of that, especially if you're talking to somebody who you recognize and fully know, is part of your faith, there's certain ways you're supposed to conduct yourself in dealing with them. And the only reason I'm not doing that is because I know full well, in this case, he would reject that because he doesn't care about his theology. He cares about what gets him attention. He's just projecting this entire time.
But the problem is, you keep saying he's a bad person because he's malicious?
Mm-hmm. I think that he's a bad person because it is a malicious action to be made aware of the negative consequences of your behavior, and you continue to make the same choices anyway.
And those choices would be what? Because he never really qualifies. He tries to, but he doesn't.
I don't think that since the found family thing blew up in his face with Peaches and all of that, that he's attempted to do the found family thing since then. So I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to by him repeating that behavior, because he hasn't done that since. That I'm aware of, unless you have evidence of it. I said, for example, the found family thing, after that blew up, he hasn't attempted to do that since then. So that isn't evidence of him doing something different from what he did before. So
unless the behavior is the same, but he's not calling it the same thing, I would consider
how is the behavior the same?
A distinction without difference. Because we're still.
Dude, this is bothering me. Okay, actually, this is bothering me so much. Like, and I didn't say this in the thing because, like, I didn't want to get into some theological discussion because I knew it would turn into that. But, like, isn't, like, one of the core tenets of Christianity, and especially Catholicism, charity?
Yes.
Like, and hold on, and I'm not done yet. Didn't Catholicism invent orphanages?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Pretty sure they did.
I don't think they invented orphanages. Maybe what we call them now, but like they've always existed in one way or another. Either way, it's kind of dumb anyways, and frankly, I wouldn't recommend getting into a theological discussion with Malcolm because it wouldn't even be fun for you, dude. You just smoke him and you know that. You enjoy talking to me about that stuff more.
Like an authority parental figure.
Okay. You know what? Never mind. I just looked it up. I mean, technically, it was in ancient Rome before Catholicism, so I guess you could argue that they carried it on, the tradition of an orphanage.
Well,
so my bad.
Because we're supposed to be taking care of fatherless people according to the Bible. Because one of the things that's listed in Christ's commandment to the church is to take care of the sick, the poor, the widows, and the orphans.
Well, because like here's the crazy thing that would blow Malcolm's mind. Okay, I love medieval history, right? Not that part. And one of the things that in medieval history that's super interesting is back in the day, back in the medieval period, whenever a stranger it was not uncommon for a stranger to be like, hey, I need a place to stay and a meal, right? And it wasn't uncommon that not only villagers would be like, absolutely, please come on in. Like, they would be excited to bring a stranger into their home and feed them. But the church had an entire meal specifically for this in the event this happened. Like, this is the origins of his religion.
Yep.
This is the depths of charity back then. So, like, technically speaking, per the history of his own religion, what you did, bringing a suicidal AFAB into your home, it's not really that much different. Also, like, didn't the church take in, like, little boys and raise them up to be, like, monks and crap, too?
Yes.
Like they didn't have a home. So, yeah, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, you're a Catholic. This is like Lio is doing the thing that is, like, the origin story of your religion.
But it's me, so it's bad.
I'm not even religious. I'm an atheist. Like, kill me.
Let's continue. Salient points.
Not labeling it found family.
How?
It's the same reason that I consider the accountability calls exactly the same fucking thing, even though that we don't call them accountability calls anymore.
Well,
it's the same fucking behavior.
hold on. Problem is, the accountability calls were always, let's be honest here, just bullying.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I agree with you there, but so the argument has been like, I don't do accountability calls anymore, end quote. But we're doing the same shit. We're just calling it something different and we're doing it in other people's servers, but it's the same fucking thing.
Well, the truth of the matter is, like, I think you can do accountability calls, but I don't think they can, especially looking back at it now, right? Because you look backwards in time. You can't look forwards. And if you do, you're probably consulting dark spirits and don't do that. But anyways, you can look back in time and say...
to white spirits, yeah.
That's not what I said, Vlad. Anyways, but, like, you can look back at something and say, huh, that's really not how I should have done that. I don't think you can really have an accountability call and have it double as a bullying call. I do think they should be separate. An accountability call doesn't inherently have to have an audience to it, right? Now, I've been on record several times, and I'll say this again. People coming at me saying, you shouldn't have calls with a bunch of people in them, I can never, ever take seriously from commentary channels. Ever. Because their entire point is that it embarrasses them in front of a bunch of people. You idiots, what do you think you do every time you stream, put out a video? And in those cases, these people often can't even fight back. Like, blows my mind that anybody thinks that was an intelligent take to have. Now, I did have somebody else give me better criticism about that, saying, the problem, Lio, is when you are trying to hold people accountable and get answers from them in a call full of multiple people, they're more likely to lie. Now, this might sound really dumb, but I always thought it was the opposite. I was from a military family. You don't lie in private, and God help you if you lie in front of a bunch of people. You'll get beaten for that. So, that being the only real comparison I have to much of anything, I'm like, well, I'll make them sweat it out in front of a bunch of people that'll be more likely to tell me the truth. Apparently not. That is the one criticism to having a whole bunch of people on call I will unquestionably take. Now, he's going to claim that I still do accountability calls. I want to be very, very clear here. I have sat in calls where people like Chuli are taking people to task for their past actions, or where somebody has to be dragged for bad actions in another way. I am not sitting here constantly trying to say, well, the moral correct option is yada, 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 and you're a terrible person because of this. No, I'm not. I sometimes recenter the talk, or I point out an inconsistency, or call somebody what they are, which is a liar. But the calls they have been going over, like the Bunny Chan call, or whatever, those are bullying sessions. I was not in your server, by the way, Gilded Pooh's server, Pootopia. If anybody actually thinks accountability calls happen there, you're on crack, and you should share with the class. But in your server,
what do you mean?
That call with Bunny Chan, I was not saying you're morally reprehensible and you hurt people. It was, I hate you, you're a stalker, kill yourself, why are you doing this, go away.
Hold on. My server is the moral center of all humanity, okay?
Oh God, I'm happy that's not true. I'm so happy that's not true.
We care very much about personal responsibility, accountability, and something, etc.
And trying to find your phone, apparently.
Yes, yeah.
Which is what caused Chris to run screaming out of your server. It's not going to tell the people in this chat what that was, But Chris don't know if he listens. But no, like, the more recent calls I've had, they're not accountability calls. I'm dealing with a lunatic or a loser, and I'm just bullying them. And if anybody's complaining about that, you're a dishonest liar or you're a moron. There's no in between. There's no, I thought this was an accountability call. No, it wasn't. I am not bringing them in front of an audience of hundreds to dress them down about their immoral and unsaintly actions. I'm calling them losers and telling them to kill themselves. Not the same thing. All right? We got that understood? Because Malcolm refuses to.
So it's like, yes, we have changed.
Hold on. This is the problem between old people that criticize Lio and the new people that criticize Lio. Because I can promise you, none of the old people criticizing Lio, with exception of the alleged victims, such as like Rosa or something, none of these people were like, guys, no more bully calls. Bully calls bad.
That's not inherently true, but I do understand what you're saying, Vlad.
We only ever complained that he was calling it accountability calls. That, like, it's like, if you want to bully people, that's fine. Just don't call it accountability calls.
Wait. Who's the exception? I mean, to be fair, I think Leia something is... Well, no, she was one of the new ones. I would count her as a new one. I don't know who...
Anybody in the ACC, the actual ACC, who was criticizing me. Literally any of them.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about those people. I don't give a shit. Like, they're not even human. I was talking about people that actually matter, okay?
You're talking about yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the problem.
That's
the
fine.
framing.
That's not my issue with
so,
him. That's fine.
but your issue is derived from just insane bullshit that I don't think even you disagree with. Are you against bullying now?
No, I love bullying, but I love bullying people that deserve it and people that can take it. Not people.
Yeah, hold on.
People that have literal half of a functioning brainstem, like fucking clinically significant intellectual disabilities, and people that can't fucking defend themselves in 1v100 calls because that's pussy shit. That's bitch shit. There's no fucking honor in that. It's a coward's way.
Wait, so hold on. You can slander somebody, lie about them, manipulate things, but now you're talking about honor. I am dealing with unhinged people, and this is something a lot of people don't want to recognize. Vlad has, obviously, because unfortunately, again, I am sorry. He had to deal with these lunatics when we were beefing, but these are crazy people. These are sick, pervert degenerates. You should not at all care that they're being bullied or that they can't defend themselves in front of 100 people. If that is who, make no mistake, that is the type of people. He's not specifically talking about Rosa. He mentions her, but he mentions multiple people. That's who he's talking about. Degenerates that I've called out and that I have bullied. Because God forbid anybody do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight autistic about this. Okay? I'm going to get straight up autistic. So I started like fully publishing calls a couple years ago. When was it exactly? Because for a long time, I actually didn't put ACC drama on my channel. So, let's see. I think the first person I ever published a bullying session of.
Pretty sure it's Buttons. I could be wrong, but pretty sure it's Buttons.
No, I never published any calls with Buttons.
Calls. Yeah. I'm sorry. Never mind.
You could say the Just a Robot drama files where I'm bullying Fluffy over making false accusations and making false evidence about Jar being a predator. I mean, if you want to complain, but then again, apparently that's what I defended Jar from. That's bad. So maybe he just really likes it when people lie, which wouldn't surprise me. So that was one person. Who was the next person? I think I know the next. I think it was Coyote Lovely. And you know what? The thing I regret about that is I could have been calmer, without question. But I should have had more information before I bullied him, so I could bully him properly. And then I had, of course,
that call was so bad.
I know. And Smash Bandicoot, are we feeling bad that I bullied somebody who spams children with pornography and now spreads child porn and threatens people? Should I feel bad for that?
I feel bad that he's not around anymore.
No, he is. He's just not around us anymore. He actually learned from that. But no, that's who Malcolm wants me to smack my wrist for being mean to. And then we have the weirdos who are messing with Box-to-Fox. Again, let's see here. Who else? Tippy and Key. The only failure I had there is that I didn't bully literally everybody else because I didn't know what they were up to. Hey is Cosmic. Somebody Inla rushed to defend, by the way, knowing full well that that Hey is Cosmic actually did stalk children and harass them consistently. But she forgave her for that. I bullied them. Let's see, who else?
Okay, look, I won't beat you to the punch. I'll even make this better for you, okay?
Yay!
I was given a Google Drive of like 20, 30 fucking calls, okay? Most of those were not public.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the overwhelming majority of them were not public. And I sat there and I listened to every single one of those calls while playing Magic Online. And
nerd.
And I can tell you right now, like, the majority of them were either boring, or it was clear from just the call in a vacuum that the person was in some way dishonest or just annoyed me so much I didn't care, right? There was only, like, I think maybe 3 or 4 that I even, like, thought there were some, like, funny clips that I took from, like, but there weren't very
like
many of them. Yeah, but there weren't very many of them where I think the ones where you called the parents were ones that took issue with. And that wasn't, as I said, there was only like 3 or 4. So, and then I think the Rosa call was in there, but by the time I was given that drive, it was already kind of partially a subject.
Yeah, either way, it's just, this is what he's trying to defend. He's trying to defend those people. And he'll say otherwise, but no. It's not about Rosa. It never has been about Rosa to a lot of these people, especially Malcolm. She's just an easy prop to throw up there to try to make it a justification, while he sits there and mentions all these other people that, frankly, needed to be bullied and, frankly, should be dead. To be very clear. And yes, Pizza, they deserved it. I need to get that as a soundboard at some point. I need to find those old calls and source them.
But yeah, like, no, like, what I'm getting at is that I spent a lot of time, actually entire years, desperately digging through every chat message in the Senate, going through every single call I could get a hold of, every single video that I could watch on your channel. Not just your videos, by the way. I even went to Queen Seraphina's channel and watched almost every single video that even mildly involved you, that includes the stupid pizza fucking short with the candy shit.
Candy corn pizza!
Okay? Yeah, so like I went through extensive effort for the better part of 2 years straight to find any evidence of something, yes, like grooming, and found nothing. Just a bunch of shit that maybe I could, if I wanted to be bad faith, misconstrue into a narrative. There's a lot of that. But guess what? There's a lot of that for everyone. If you go through my shit, you can build a narrative for just about anything I've ever said. It's pretty easy. People have done it. So, like, what I'm getting at is that, like, it bothers me that I went through all this effort to the best of my ability, tell the truth, and to the best of my knowledge, tell the truth, and then all these people come in after Beckett drops the subject, because, by the way, Malcolm and Aiden and Queeman did not want to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole until Beckett dropped the topic. They all come in, and then they just spread complete BS, and I find that to be personally infuriating. It just violates all the work and effort that I put in to ensure that I told as accurate of a story as possible. I even went as far as to private old videos that contained either misinformation or outdated information.
Yep.
So, like, it was very important to me to come correct, and none of these people give a shit. That's one of the reasons, that is absolutely the main motivation for why I even agreed to Malcolm's offer in the first place.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead. I saw that somebody said, have a question, why are some of your videos deleted or privated? I think I've only privated one, and we'll talk about why that is at a later date. Not right now. I plan on putting that in a video. The only video I think I've deleted, like properly deleted, that wasn't like something nerd related that I just got like rendering errors or whatnot early on. I think the only video I've ever deleted was the one on Crystal for the obvious reasons. If Malcolm thinks I'm hiding stuff, he can think that. He has no evidence for it because I don't do that. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in perspective for the chat. So just give me 1 moment because I got to find the right folder. There it is. So let me go ahead and do the math here. All right? Let's do the math. Why is it? Is that wrong one? Is this the right one? Yes, it is. All right. So let's see here. So this one has, come on, properties. I hate Windows 11, just so everybody's aware. I really freaking hate Windows 11. It does not give me the things I like immediately. Instead, I have to go around the barn. Linux. I hate you. I have to flex my superiority and all this. Yes. Let's see here. Plus 360. That can't be right, though. 1294. So, and this isn't counting other calls I've been in, but the calls I have recorded number in 2,330 calls, most of which were from different individuals. A lot of which, actually, most of them I haven't published for various different reasons. Most of these are just random scumbags, idiots, morons, people who come in to cause trouble. Like, even if I count the people who had multiple calls, that's at least, like, close to 2,000, like, 100 people that is not out there that I've dealt with. So saying that, like, you dealt with these people and there's the majority of it, no, you're a liar. You're an idiot. It's dumb. It's dumb, and I hate him for it. Because he's dumb. Moving on.
Yeah. So what's really funny is you said you don't care about all this shit, and you're just a drama guy, but you really care. Like, you're espousing a very deeply seated moral view there.
It only matters depending on what he can get away with.
Do you not think that those things can't coexist together?
They could, but anytime we get to morals, you constantly resort to, I'm a drama guy, I don't care about morals.
No,
and now
so
you care about morals.
You're two different things. You're equivocating right now, and I can distinguish these two things for you very clearly. One, the content that I cover on my stream, the targets of the content that I'm covering are people that I find particularly interesting. Obviously, within what I'm covering, there are going to be things that I have strong feelings, opinions, and convictions about that I will espouse when appropriate when it comes up in the content. I am not seeking out people who are dangerous to minors, pedophiles, predators, oh my. I'm not seeking those people out. I'm seeking out topically relevant dramas and criticizing the behavior within topically relevant dramas.
I mean, I don't know if you're doing
yes, I do have a strong opinion on why all of these calls are bad. Yes, I do think that that's something that I make clear, but I'm not going out and looking for who are the meanest people on Twitter that have 6 followers that I can make a fucking YouTube video about. No, that's not what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm doing it for entertainment and for content.
I don't know. It's just earlier you said, when did I say I care? So, I mean, I'm just saying.
About the pedophile hunter shit. Yes, I don't give a fuck about Glass Raven. I don't give a fuck about all these fucking random nobodies. I don't fucking care. Okay, if they want to, like, do something really stupid and dance like a little circus monkey, I would love to cover it. I certainly could. I'd wait with bated breath. But I'm not in the business of going around and making hit pieces and exposés on some random fucking shitter that has 6 followers on Twitter. I don't fucking care.
I mean,
no, instead you just do it about whoever thinks will get you attention.
I mean, to be fair, you said topical as well, by the way. And what's interesting about the topical thing is that what the fuck is topical about Lio? That drama was like years old whenever you started talking about it. So
what's topical about it is that it is reinvigorated by the discovery of new content. The same way that they make, news episodes about court cases that are from fucking ever ago, but new information comes to light, or people are exposed to new facts or ideas about the case in the same vein, right?
So
yes, because that's exactly the same as him scrambling to try to find things. Here's the thing: is in the unedited debate, anytime Vlad brings up something from Psy that happened this past year, he says that Vlad is beating a dead horse. So it's a dead horse if it's its friend, but not if it's somebody's covering.
Oh, basically, so my question is, and I don't remember, I think I asked this already, I don't remember if you've answered the question or not. So, are there any behaviors that Lio exhibited in the past that you think he has stopped doing?
Any behaviors in the past that he's stopped doing? No, I think he's just smart about how he does them. I think that he's more covert with a lot of the behaviors.
So
yes, my secret covert found family, totally.
He's still doing it, it's just nobody sees it.
Correct.
But all the criticisms that were happening were all public, so I don't know. I think it's weird. Can you give me an example? I'm sorry, I'm not following here.
Maybe yeah, so I think that like usually, so there's like 2 scenarios. The first scenario is that everything is brought to Lio's attention, and he says, no, you know what? Actually, that was like super fucked up. Probably should.
Notice he's not actually giving examples. He's giving hypotheticals of how I should respond to something. Not the same as giving examples of what he was claiming.
Done that, and then we're not doing it anymore. The alternative course is that it's brought to his attention. He says, okay, like whatever. Sorry, guys. It doesn't really click for him what was the issue, or doesn't care, and then continues to do that behavior, but just out of view. So still engaging in the same behaviors, but not as openly and as brazenly as before, because then it's going to be the repeat criticism.
No, I understand what you're saying.
So the example that I used...
Okay.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was understanding what you were saying. I just needed an example. Sorry, go on.
Oh, so the example would be like the accountability calls. He says he doesn't do them anymore. He doesn't pick on intellectually disabled people. He's learned his lesson. He doesn't believe in this anymore, but he's still doing them right now. And then with the Rosa call, he said, I learned my lesson. That was super fucked up. I'm never going to defend it. And then in June, he was saying that he did the Rosa call because Peaches said that she would fucking kill herself if he told her to stop.
This is an amazing point, and I really appreciate it, Vlad, that you put the full recording on here, because number one, it's amazing what is about to be played, that he tried to pretend that this is me blaming it on Peaches and saying that this is me trying to move a goalpost or change what I said, when it's the exact opposite. So, severe cognitive dissonance from him. You still alive over there, Vlad?
Yeah, barely.
Live!
No, I'm kidding. I was responding to a text message.
Tell her I said hi. Anyways.
I mean, so?
So he's doing the same behavior. What do you mean, so?
Like, no, I mean, like, I don't see that as defending it at all. So I'm a little confused.
It is defending it. He's making an excuse. Because he said before, it was my choice, it was my decision, it was in my server, my bad, I'll defenestrate myself publicly, my bad. And now, in private Discord servers where he thinks that people aren't paying very close attention to what he's saying and what he's doing, he's saying the opposite.
I don't see anything wrong with bringing that up. I don't think that's a defense whatsoever. I don't see it that way. I would see a defense of him doing it would be him giving reasons why he did it and why he's okay with it. No, why he's okay with it, which he's consistently said
his fault.
He never said it wasn't his fault. He's consistently said it was his fault.
He said that it was Peach's fault because he said I couldn't step in and stop it because Peach would threaten to kill her.
I would have to hear that because I don't remember him ever saying that it was Peach's fault he did it.
I'll get it for you right
That's a wild statement.
Let me grab it because I sent it to Morale. I just have to find it really quick.
Well, it also doesn't help that people get a lot of facts about the call, why it happened, and
read the name
and the details around it wrong because nobody actually asked. They just
shape-shifting, cloud-hungry worm based.
Ran with whatever they were told or whatever suited their narrative. Like they say, well, they knew Rosa couldn't do anything. No, we actually did. Even when the worst call happened, that third one happened, we did not know that Necopon was also a mod at the time. We didn't find that out until afterwards. We didn't grab Rosa because we couldn't get to Rebecca. We grabbed Rosa because she was the one there who was the most outspoken and justifying what she did. Now, again, I think Rosa is more in charge of her faculties than people want to paint her as. In fact, I think the entire back and forth about her was ableism in a different direction because she's proven that she can be malicious. She's, like, fun fact, she's doxed plenty of people, including me. And when I say doxing, I don't just mean giving out address like I do, right? When I say doxing, I mean she actually got the wrong person, but she published on her Twitter account what she thinks is me, who wasn't, somebody with a similar name, the Fox Mafia did the same thing, his address and everything, telling people to go after me. That is, by actual definition, doxing. So she knows full well what she's doing, at least in the case of maliciousness. The problem I have, of course, was that I should not have spoken to her that way, and I should have just told her to piss off after the first call. That was really all that was needed. Literally it. The continued assailing of her on the call was uncalled for. It was needlessly cruel, because say what you will about her other faculties, it's very obvious she can be manipulated by these people, and I should have been more, concerned with that. I really should have looked into that more. But another problem is, and I'm not saying this to make an excuse, because again, on the record, multiple times, there isn't one. But it also would have been very hard to stop the call, because if I did, Peaches would have had an absolute crash out in my DMs, because whenever Peaches did not give her way, whenever anything she considered fun was stopped, it would immediately go into suicide. And that's something I had to keep in mind every time I was in call with her, or every interaction. It was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, he literally just said, like, it's not an excuse in any way, but this was another reason that compelled him to continue doing it.
If I ran you over with my car, and you were like, Malcolm, what the fuck? That was super fucked up. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I'm really sorry, I had a really bad day at work.
That is, again, another insane comparison. It's an insane comparison.
Yeah, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just too dumb and he's too smart. I don't know.
The truth is he has cognitive dissonance, because I said literally it's my fault, but what I gave was a hypothetical. If I had tried to stop it, here's what would have happened. Because that's what would have happened if I tried to stop it. I'm not saying that in the moment I was thinking I should stop this, but Peaches would be mad. That's not what I said. This is about thinking about it after the point. He's dumb.
Well, even still, he said that was you said that was your reason for doing the call in the first place, which isn't even what you said.
No, and again, and I put this in my video, that third call wasn't even something I scheduled. Somebody else did. I just popped up in it. He never knows what he's talking about, because he just runs with what he's told, thinks it's good enough, and now he looks like a fool when doing so. What an idiot.
What does that say?
So to be fair,
I don't fucking care.
You did say it was your responsibility.
It was.
You should have ended it. So it was your server. So
true, and I still stand by that, without question. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. It was Peach's fault. I had nothing to do with it. She would have killed herself. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, hold on. Let me make something very clear. Okay, two things. Number one. Nobody should be bitching about the Rosa call. I don't give a fuck about that goddamn Rosa call. Rosa is fucking insane. Okay, number one, like clinically. The only thing.
She's severely fucking mentally ill.
Yes. And so she should get a better caretaker skill issue. Don't give a fuck. Now, if you wanted to ask me if that was something I would do, no. I agree with you that at a certain point, on a certain point on the retard scale, you should care. Okay, everybody cares what I would do. Okay, there's a certain point on the retard. It's not moral. I mean, he was a very moral guy, but ultimately, on the moral scale, there's a point of retard that is retarded to believe that there's no honor in. Which, yes, I would agree, because I'm saying all that.
Notice the zoom in.
Yes, I did.
In my viewpoint.
So the zoom in said from me. I said it wouldn't have been easy to stop the call, not it's just Peach's fault. I popped in for a moment, and already Malcolm can't track reality when it's right in front of him, LOL. Yes.
Rosa would fall into that category of somebody that's too mentally fucked to bully on the internet like that. However, on the other side of the coin, everybody's spending entire fucking years going on and 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 on about it isn't necessarily going to put anybody in a position where they're not inevitably going to be like, you know what? Actually, fuck you. I'm glad I did it. So if anything, eventually, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. That's exactly what I would do.
I don't care
what
you would do.
That's what the average motherfucking person would do.
Wrong.
No,
if
correct.
You're actually sorry for something, that is wrong. If you
it is correct.
You are
if you're actually
for what you've done now.
How long does somebody have to be repentant over a singular topic before they just say fuck it, I don't care anymore?
Literally, if you do something wrong, forever. Yes, forever for the rest of your life.
That is actually fucking retarded. That is an insane expectation of people.
How is that an insane expectation?
You need to touch grass at this point. If I sat there, if you specifically, like, I don't know, shot somebody on accident, they didn't even die. You just accidentally shot someone, right? And I spent every single day for the rest of your life saying, by the way, you shot somebody. By the way, this guy shot somebody. And I keep doing that over and over for entire fucking years. You would, like everyone else, would eventually be like, you know what? Fuck it. You goddamn right I did. That is normal human behavior. Yes, you would. Yes, absolutely. And if you think that, you have an insane backwards understanding of human behavior. Completely.
It has nothing to do with behavior. It has to do with honor, and it has to do with your ability to take accountability for something and admit when you're wrong.
I don't want to hear about honor from the manlet here, because honor is about consistency. And Malcolm, you don't have any. You will overlook your friends doing creepy things with kids or other adults in the same spaces with kids that you're trying to get onto me for, and ignore it because it's not me. You can literally... Go ahead.
You know what's really funny about this?
What?
I tuned in a bit to Malcolm's stream Morale's stream going over this.
Oh, boy.
Even he agreed with this take of mine. Just throw that out there.
Okay, that's funny. That is funny.
Because there are things in my life that I fucked up on, and that I did that were pretty shitty.
But you don't have people on your ass all the time, every day.
Actually.
No, you don't.
I do, actually.
What?
I do.
Come on.
None of your
business.
It's
exactly.
Yeah. In real life, off the internet. Yes. Everybody's made mistakes before, and part of being an adult is understanding that the way that people talk to you because of the mistakes that you've made does not somehow give you the green light to flip the switch and go 180 and actually.
Goddamn right it does.
Actually mean to do all of that. And if that's how you want to live your life, that's completely fine.
That's called. That is basic normal human. That is normal human behavior. I'm sorry. You should probably look into this sometime. It absolutely is. From my vantage point, when I watch your coverage of Lio, right, and you say, you know, he's a groomer, a predator, pedo adjacent, right? What do you think the average person watching takes away from that?
That he is adjacent to those things. Like it's like diet. It's like lowercase p, right? Where it's like we're probably doing some freak shit. We are doing some freak shit, but there isn't any like evidence or direct under like any direct like, oh, this person did this freak shit too, minor or whatever.
Okay. So then why is it that your entire community, I might add, from everything I've seen when they talk about Lio being a groomer, they bring up things like him trying to fuck kids? Why is this a common theme I see in your community?
Because people can have different opinions or different interpretations or different.
And you don't think you're influencing those opinions by taking advantage of their colloquialisms?
No, but if he gives a homeless guy $10 and he dies on smack, it's his fault somehow. But this isn't.
By using.
No, I think that people are going to come to those conclusions with or without my input, just based on the evidence that's provided.
So you don't think that you have any responsibility whatsoever for any of that? Just arbitrarily accusing him of wild shit with very, very suspect. Most of it, by the way, from what I've heard so far, most of it is your speculation. I don't know if you would even agree that you're speculating whatsoever. But
I can caveat infinitely, which is something that I have done and continue to do.
Speaking of which, I want to make something very clear. He talks about responsibility and all that. You know, he censored the teenager, the 16-year-old's name and whatnot on Twitter. He didn't do it in his server. In fact, he's the one that posted it. His server.
Oh, he also.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, finish your thought. Then I'll go.
I'll say his server that he is very often said is a public server. By the way,
yep,
public site.
And he knows how rabid and insane his fan base is. There's no way he didn't think that tiny little pea brain of his or recognize people are probably going to give the child grief over this. He posted their account information, like open and accessible for people to look at, while trying to play pretend publicly that he's going to do the decent thing of censoring it. Malcolm, you're not as smart as you think you are, and anybody with any awareness of how snakes act are going to be able to catch you out every single time.
I have an alternate take.
Oh?
Actually. Yeah, slightly. So, in my personal opinion, him censoring the name was actually malicious. And the reason I say that is because I think it's a very bad thing to claim that this minor is the victim of grooming or whatever, right? And then not give people the ability to contact that minor for any kind of confirmation whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, that miner can always block or not answer any questions if they want to, right? Or ignore. But the point I'm getting across here is whenever you hide the alleged victim, whenever you hide who that is, what you're doing in that is you're preventing anybody from being able to obtain a possible contrary narrative from what you're spinning.
Yeah, I think, frankly, though, that he did it for the sake of optics and to look good. I'm the good guy.
Maybe, but I think it looks bad.
Well, I mean, you think it looks bad? I think it looks bad for different reasons. We both agree that it looks bad. It's just, I think that fully, he even admitted, like, he's not going to talk to anybody involved. And when he was challenged on it, somehow moved the goalpost to be about doxing and calling people's parents, which was never once mentioned. So I think this is all deception and duplicity from him. And again...
Yeah, how are you gonna call their parents from a fucking goddamn Discord handle? Like, what the fuck?
There are ways, but at the same time, checking first is always the first option. But he doesn't actually care. That's why Psy could probably touch 1 billion kids. He'd know about it and wouldn't care. Because even when, again, Mars bars, and again, honor. Honor is about consistency in your morals. That's all honor is about. And Mars bar came to him, he's like, not my problem. Freak.
Over and over and over and over again. I cannot.
But you don't bother correcting them. You don't even bother correcting. You don't moderate any of it. You just look at it and go.
Yeah,
I don't care.
If people want to make jokes or do like the weird, like speculative, like this is my crackpot conspiracy theory, I don't mind if that's what people are doing. Which the screenshots that you posted are literally that. Like, let me go.
Well, one of them was allegedly a joke. However, that same guy in other communities has said the same things, not as a joke, but as a serious allegation.
Let me find this really quick.
They're talking about Mars bar right now, by the way.
So this one is Dreamer saying in regard to LioConvoy, then what is grooming, and then screenshots from the server getting involved with the kitties' toys. Where here is anybody being like, oh, go rapist? Where is that in here? Unless you have other screenshots.
Give me 1 second, because I posted them in the tweet.
Because those are the ones that I see, unless there's more of them.
I mean, these are mostly what I've seen in like comment sections. People that are notable fans of yours that just straight up call him a fucking pedophile and then.
Oh, it's this one right here. I see what you're talking about. I see it.
Yeah.
For the sake of bullying, let's pretend that she's 6. Parentheses joke. Okay, so I don't care. That's a joke.
Allegedly,
you have to join. I mean, are you really gonna like crawl up my ass and try to puppeteer me over a joke? Really?
This is funny. Hold on, this is funny.
Joking.
All right.
This is funny. Actually, I just realized this. So I cannot infer intent I cannot use you saying, hypothetically saying, hey, I got this honeypot brewing as evidence for malicious intent, right? Like I can't counter his argument of you ran a honeypot with, well, Lio didn't say he was doing a honeypot, but he can look at something that says joke in parentheses and then automatically, obviously, that's a joke because they said it was a joke.
Yes. Clearly. We got a real mind here.
Just odd.
He's odd.
He just wrote joke. Like he's 100% serious. He's been in other communities.
You can deride others.
Well, yeah, you suck at it. But the point is that he goes in other communities like Upblock and will just straight up call Lio a fucking sex offender. So
what do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do about that?
Police your chat, moron.
Like I don't know, maybe not like use words that aren't specifically used most commonly.
Because I do clarify every time.
You didn't clarify. You clarify. I don't think you didn't clarify when you said pedo-coded. There was no clarification there.
Spiritually a pedophile. That's a different. Yes.
You said I don't remember you saying a spiritual pedophile. But you said pedo-coded. But you said I know you said pedo-coded.
Yeah, a guy that literally spends every waking moment thinking about rape, molestation, pedophilia, and like child groomers on the internet. Yeah, that guy's spiritually a pedophile. That takes up that much bandwidth.
I mean, wait a minute. Wait. But what about the people that were the raped? They do that all the time. What all?
I don't care.
Wait, are they pedophiles?
Take one of them that I'm covering, and I'll say the same shit. Like I don't know what you want me to do. Make 27 fucking.
Actually, there's a poll. There's a poll. I don't know if this is insensitive or not. Like legitimately don't know. Okay. Not as a meme. But maybe a good poll idea would be asking the touched among your audience how often they think about or are afraid of being touched.
I think there's a way to word it.
I don't know how to word it sensitively. Okay, I'm sorry. I said touched because I wanted to say the raped among your chat. So
yeah, let's not.
To be fair. I'm not really renowned for my gift of subtlety, okay?
I got it. Funny thing is, sometimes you're actually more subtle than I am. All right, so I worded it better. If you suffer from SA, are you fearful that it will happen again? Do you worry about it often? So I was able to find a better way to word it.
What I'm saying is the things you're saying can apply to just about anybody online that I could point to.
Cool. I don't care. I'm not covering just anybody online. I'm covering Lio.
What's hard to catch about that is you're pinning it all on him whenever.
That's like the asinine way of like, I don't like that this guy goes to the bathroom. Everybody goes to the bathroom. Well, no, it's about this guy. It's about this guy. Nobody else. The truth of the matter is, like, I'll let him finish because I think he continues on, but this is amazing.
Oh, I'm criticizing him.
Yes, you're criticizing him for things that would be otherwise innocuous for literally anyone else.
No.
Yes.
I would consider this behavior exactly the same, deranged and freakish for a 40-year-old fucking random bitch on the internet fucking hanging out with 16-year-olds in Discords and shit like that.
That's not what you were just talking about. Yeah, it's not even what you were talking about, but there's a bunch of people that do that all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, I would consider people...
Notice, again, he moves the goalpost, not about whether or not I allegedly think of sexual assault and pedophiles all the time, but whether or not I, quote-unquote, hang out with 16-year-olds, which, again, I don't. I have never, in my life, since becoming an adult, had a child as a friend. That is unhinged. No thank you.
People that spend time, like, online pedophile hunting and shit like that, yeah, those people are spiritually pedophiles. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Remember, if you're pedophile hunting, you're spiritually a pedophile. Totally not something a pedophile would say.
It's fine, but my question is, like those, I would agree with you that in of itself is suspect.
It can be, and the reason why Vlad's suspect of that, and I can be it sometimes too, is because we both had instances where we've been around predator hunters who wound up being kid touchers. Isn't that right, Vlad?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I think that most of the people I'd been around were kid touchers or freaks of other type because they were troll shielding. I mean, that's... How are you online, have a community that long and not know what troll shielding is?
I don't even know how many pedo hunters have turned into pedophiles. I mean, we can make a list. It'd be pretty long, right? If not pedophiles, something adjacent to it. But my point is that, like, earlier you just said he spends all waking day thinking about pedophiles and sexual crimes and all that shit.
Correct.
But yeah. Like, there are tons of people that do that all the time that aren't pedo hunters and all that shit. And this is a completely innocuous thing, like, that you're adding to him.
I literally cannot, like, I can explain it, but I can't make you understand it. I do drama coverage. I am covering Lio. I am going to criticize and cover Lio's behavior in the context of me covering him for my drama commentary YouTube slot. If you want to send me an itemized list of every single fucking person...
Wait, hold on. So, let's assume that I do think of that all day, which I don't, by the way. If anybody looks at my Twitter or other social medias, I primarily talk about nerd crap. That's what runs through my mind, alongside, like, what I do for work, the responsibilities I have. What he's trying to do, Vlad, that you didn't catch, because obviously he was running all over the place. He's trying to point out and say it's a negative that I tend to run into predators when I'm doing stuff. Which is something all of us have been irritated with for a very long time. Like when we were beefing with 90s Router, all of us got pissed that we found out a kid toucher was in his spaces because we're all so tired of dealing with them. We don't go looking for them, they're just there, and we're tired of it. That's not the same thing as, it's always in his mind, he's always thinking about it. No, usually I'm thinking about, I wonder when I'm going to get done with this task. I should probably work on that video. Oh, I have this idea for a video. I needed to get this art done. I really need to do that thing for the lion mask so I can ship it to Chris. I'm sorry, I know Malcolm, you really want to try to put me in a specific box because you created this tulpa of me in your mind, but that's not who I am. I'm sorry. Kill yourself.
So what I've learned from this poll is 51 people voted, and 80% of those 51 people are pedophiles.
He is joking for chat, because I know a lot of people are on autism.
Per
Malcolm's view.
Per Malcolm's logic. Yes.
Yes, Malcolm
I forgot to add that caveat, sorry.
Yeah, you need to. You need to. But no, yeah, according to Malcolm, that 80% would all be pedophiles. And he's only saying this because he thinks it's an own on me, because he's just that obsessed.
That's not the point I'm getting across. What the point I'm getting across is that the allegation that he thinks about, or not the allegation, but the claim that he thinks all day long about nothing but pedophiles and shit, or whatever, which I don't think is entirely true, because I don't...
Guys, Hidden's not in this call, chill.
We buy that, but if that were the case, I mean, yeah.
She is, she's just hidden.
Is that in of itself bad, especially since there's a lot of people
saying it was bad. I said that, oh my fucking god, dude. Because if you spend all of your time thinking about pedophilia, rape, online predator hunters, gooners, degenerates, freaks, predators,
Isn't that what he's doing, though? Every time he boots up a stream about me, isn't that all he's thinking about is predators? If he thinks I am one? A little confusing.
Bye.
Yeah, dude, if that is taking up that much of your emotional bandwidth, you might as well join him, dude. Like, holy fuck. Like, do you not have anything else to think about? Not anything else to do? Like, every single situation for him is like, oh my god, there might be a pedophile here. Oh my, the pedophiles are literally haunting him like gay thoughts haunt Tom Cruise. Like, that's...
The reference
is that why Tom Cruise is running away?
Yes, the reference is funny, but his logic isn't. He's obviously very desperate to try to get this thought out as though it was real. Like, this guy's actually truly delusional. If anybody needs to be checked into a psych ward, it's him.
What's happening? Yes, I would say the same way Tom Cruise is spiritually like an F-slur. Yes. I would make the same criticism for others. Like, if something takes up that emotional and mental bandwidth in your brain, like 24/7.
Okay, I want to point out something real quick.
Sure.
He said spiritually an F-slur. Now, I want to point out, I've said slur in this stream twice, okay? And I was not meaning it to refer to a gay person. That was not at all my intent. But this guy is definitely using that word to talk about the gays.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
I like literally cannot have a waking moment without thinking about child predation on the internet. Yeah, I would say you're spiritually a pedophile, yes.
Okay. So basically everybody that was raped is a
It's
pedophile.
not very woke of Malcolm.
No, it's not. And neither is what he's saying here.
Because we expand that out.
Do you think that everybody who has been raped spends every waking moment thinking about how every single person is a rapist?
I have actually met many people who have been that traumatized that they're scared it's going to happen from anybody. And I do feel a lot of sorrow for those people. Malcolm here, though, doesn't care.
There is a lot of people that follow, yes.
They make YouTube videos
yes,
about
there's
it.
a lot of
They
people
spend
that
all
follow
their
Nick.
time tweeting about it, blogging
Absolutely,
about it.
yes. There's a lot of those, yes.
Sure, if there are people like that, I'd say the same thing, sure.
Yeah, like, and most of those are people that were molested or raped, yes.
Okay, I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me.
What I'm
People
saying
that have
is...
been raped or molested can sometimes continue that cycle of abuse and rape and molest others. That doesn't
Yes,
make
they
it okay
can.
because they were also
Absolutely.
abused.
Yes.
That doesn't make it okay.
100%.
It doesn't, yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I agree with you. But on that part, which is actually weird, because I remember actually when I was in the side scribble thing, you asked me if I take that into consideration, so... And I said, no, I don't give a fuck.
Fucking moderating. You got... Hello?
I think that if you are the kind of person that, if it is true that she actually was or is a child groomer, that gives carte blanche for anybody to say whatever they want about the person, full stop.
Okay, well, I disagree.
I mean, if you want to defend alleged pedophiles, more power to you. Go for it.
I don't see how making comments about women is inappropriate no matter what is defending her actions. How do you justify that?
No matter what. If I may, quick question just for Gildan. Would it change your opinion at all if it was demonstrated that this person was also a victim of grooming and that's why they were like acting out? Because a lot of people that already abuse children.
Not even a little.
Okay, so if somebody was like raped as a child and then they, reenacted that on somebody else, you would say, I don't really give a f they can give.
Yep, they are responsible for their actions.
Okay.
I don't know, like, at the time, I was kind of confused on where you were going with that, so I'm assuming you weren't going the opposite of this with it, but whatever. It's a weird contrast. But either way, my question here is like,
catch that?
I think that statement in a vacuum doesn't really hold any water, because it's...
Yeah, especially considering that wasn't even a requirement of moderation. He was just putting his own thought there, hoping to give Sai some backup.
Yeah, no, like, and he did not seem happy with my response. No, by the way, like that's like he can try and claim whatever he wants, but that's not how it looks.
Of course not.
Easily explained, like with just the touched,
that's just the
touched. Always think about being touched. Like, I don't know, like that's just a common thing. Like I've seen, especially in these weird spaces like ACC, where I
don't think that the ACC is a representative sample of anything other than terminally online brain rot and an early sign of
I agree.
TTE. So
yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, if anybody would know about all of that, Malcolm, it'd be you. You consistently have no brain. You're an inhuman creature. And before he tries, because he likes to try to pretend that I'm trans, anti-trans rather, that I'm a transphobe, which is why when I told him to kill himself, he's like, oh, he told a trans man to kill himself on Pride Month. I don't care about Malcolm being trans. I think Malcolm's an inhuman freak because he's a Weasley sneaky little liar.
I don't really put any strong value into what other people in the ACC are doing.
I don't think you should. I'm just pointing out that I think that allegation in a vacuum is an irrelevant like criticism of Lio. I think it's completely lame.
Okay.
But the other shit like the problem that I have here is like for me, like when you say like maliciousness, like you said earlier, like he was malicious, but then you also acknowledge he has good intent, and so like you're not squaring the circle, and that's the part that's confusing my pea brain, right? I don't understand how I can both be malicious and have positive intent at the same time.
I think we spent, 10, 15 minutes talking about that? So, I mean, I feel like I made myself pretty clear.
Not really, no. Like,
it's fine.
It's really confusing, actually.
So we're not going to agree on that, which is fine, such as the way it is. So what was the next thing that you wanted to talk about on your list?
Yeah, so... there is some... So this kind of ties a little bit into all of it. So, I think there's a lot of inconsistencies in your coverage of a lot of this shit. And one of the inconsistencies that I've seen... actually all the way up to recently, was the hashtag, what I'm going to call hashtag Bangate. So, like, your reasoning for me getting banned from your server has changed like 4 different times, and I don't really care about that.
It's because you made rape jokes about Cyan. It's because you're racist. Would you deny that you're a racist person?
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna say, yeah, I'm not racist, but I mean, obviously that factors into my decision. Obviously, when I see the shit that you post, like, I'm not stupid, right? I can read.
Okay,
hold
so
on. Let me back that up just a little bit. I want to make sure I got something right.
Recently was the hashtag what I'm gonna call hashtag bangate. So, like, your reasoning for me getting banned from your server has changed like 4 different times, and I don't really care about that.
It's because you made rape jokes about Cyan. It's because you're racist. Would you deny that?
Wait, hold on. He just confirmed that it was a joke.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
Well, it took me a minute, obviously. So he says it's a joke here, but later on he'll try to justify saying it was a threat.
You're a racist person?
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna say, yeah, I'm not racist, but I mean, obviously that factors into my decision. Obviously, when I see the shit that you post, like, I'm not stupid, right? I can read.
Okay, so a couple things. Number 1, your original statement was because of rape threats, which I never made. I did not.
You said, I'm going to rape you, get you pregnant, and then rape your kid. So says, how was your kid? Gilded Poo, and then Gilded Poo says, have you been raped yet? Which is why Gilded Poo is not my Discord server anymore. Starting a brave take, I think that, like, threatening to rape people is bad. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
How is that a rape threat? I mean, I don't like rape jokes, save for the one from Frisky Dingo that was a play on words. They were trying to find...
Okay.
Yeah, it's dumb. Like, this is a dumb
I screwed up.
What?
I screwed up on this edit. So there was a part in there where I added a tad bit of commentary, and I said what he just quoted me on, where I made the statement, I'm going to rape you, get you pregnant, and then rape the kid or whatever. I did actually say that, but that was later in the conversation, and that is not what he cites as his reason for banning me. That's not the quote he cites for the reason for banning me.
Nope.
In the clip you just saw. Like, so he's not even consistent there. I recorded that bit of commentary and forgot to add it in. And by the way, for anybody wondering, like, how is that a joke? It's very simple. The joke in a nutshell is I wouldn't even rape Psy. That's the joke. Like, it's so absurd on its face.
If nothing else, and again, don't care for them, but it's a joke via absurdity.
Yeah, so I said it's absurd on its face.
Yeah.
It is a wildly insane thing to say. That's the entire point. And it got her to block me on Discord. So I'll take that as a W, thank you.
Fair.
That wasn't a rape threat. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'm going to rape you and get you pregnant and rape your kid.
If you take that seriously, that's on you. That was so obviously a joke.
It's not about the seriousness of
okay.
It's not about...
I wonder if he'd take it seriously if Matt Bandicoot told him he was going to take him to the toilet.
Oh, God.
Valid questions.
A threat is serious, dude. Like, a threat means a very... Threat means one thing.
I'm gonna blow your house up. Do you think I'm really gonna come and blow your house up? No. Do you want to fucking be around somebody that's constantly like, I'm gonna come and blow your shit up? No, that's insane. That's insane.
I mean, if you were making a legitimate... Well, first off, it didn't happen in your Discord server, number 1.
I know it didn't happen
Number 2...
I also didn't say racist shit in my Discord server. I still fucking banned her.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just making that clarification because you said in my Discord server. Number 2, more importantly than that, yeah, that's not a threat. A threat has to, like, I have to be intending to actually threaten you, to intimidate you. That's the point of it.
Well, not just intent, it also, like, you have to have reasonable means to carry out that threat for it to be a threat. Like, if...
I mean, even if we ignore that, because I agree with you, but let's ignore that. It doesn't even matter, because I still, at the very minimum, have to try and intimidate you, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's like, you know, that's what a threat is.
Yeah, it's a means of intimidation. Let's continue.
Threat. That's what it means.
Because it's not a joke saying that I'm gonna come and fucking rape you.
That is a joke! That's hilarious! It's funny! Yeah, it is!
I love that you're presenting yourself like, haha, I'm right!
Yeah, I don't give a fuck at this point. Well, I'm just like, fuck you.
You can say, I don't like it, I don't think it's funny, it's not my type of humor, because I do, but claiming it is something it isn't, that's stupid, and it makes you look like a fool.
Saying, oh my god, Gilded is fucking raped in this conversation. His fucking gaping prolapse asshole has been so fucking hard in this conversation.
Funny.
That's hilarious.
Yes,
me saying I'm coming to your house to rape you is not funny. That's
it's hilarious.
Lame. It's not funny.
You know why it's funny?
Like,
you know why it's funny? You know why? Yes.
It's lame
humor. See? But it's a joke, though. That's the point. It's not a threat. So that's the point.
He said humor, in case you missed it.
I heard him.
So it wasn't in your Discord, so...
I know, but if you're willing to say that...
So he can't... He's again trying to do the snake behaviors. I'm going to call it a threat here, but I'm going to mention his humor here or there.
I still
that's actually... Okay, that's... Okay, number one... I never said anything like that, nor intended to. Anytime I'm in a server, I usually make it a point to abide by the rules of that server that anybody could attest to.
Yeah, I don't care. If somebody's doing crazy shit on a different platform, I've always enforced crap.
That's amazing. Secondly, because you literally just said you could say it in my server, and I'm saying that wouldn't have happened. Secondly, secondly, more importantly than that, that is a joke. That is the obvious intention of it. It doesn't, but calling it a threat means a very specific thing. You should care about the English language.
I'm role-playing as you. I'm doing a gender change. I'm transitioning into Gilded Poo. I don't care.
Okay, that's okay, fine. Okay,
you
cool.
Got banned.
I don't care that was banned either.
I don't care, pussy.
The entire point is that you're using a word that means a very specific thing, just like you did with groomer, just like you did with pedophile, just like you did with predator. You are using.
Notice he's not engaging with the meat of your argument. He's just trying to play pretend that he's going to bother you by ignoring it.
Yep.
Very, very hyperbolic language to blanket call somebody something and allow people to colloquially come up with their own meaning for it. Whenever you know damn well I wasn't actually going to get her pregnant and I wasn't actually going to, like, the absurdity of that quote-unquote threat obviously makes it not a threat.
Okay, I don't care. What's the next thing on your list?
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't care that you're dishonest either. But the second thing that I wanted to point out from that,
talk to me about it, so.
I mean, if you want to be dishonest, that's on you.
Like Vlad's joke was so absurd. It'd be like if I threatened somebody that I'm going to summon the power of Grayskull and then punch their house into the sky. It's just ridiculous.
That's fine. If you just want to own that you're a dishonest freak on the internet,
no, because it's
that's
like
fine.
really fucking annoying because I explained to you like my justification for why I said a certain thing, and then you're like, well, actually,
your justification is fucking retarded because it's bullshit.
That's why. It's a lie. Your judgment. I don't value your judgment.
You should.
I don't value your judgment, which is why I'm going to sit in a stream and try to convince you of things because I want you to agree with my judgment, but I don't value your judgment. The point of the matter is that he's realized he can't go anywhere with this, so now he's just going to try to downplay Vlad's position on this in order to try to obfuscate the fact that he has no counter.
You should.
By the way, just real quick, notice how I get twice as aggressive when it involves me.
Yes.
Versus when I'm talking about you, like the massive switch in tone.
Yes. Took it personally.
Because everybody was sitting there for a while, and they're like, "Oh, this is all a sweep for Lio. He was just sweeping for Lio." And it's like, no. The entire point of this entire discussion is that Malcolm has been a dishonest person all the way through, not just involving Lio. It's just Lio's the most prolific example, but he's also been dishonest in his coverage of me. And whenever it involves me, like, and you see it in my face, you can see how I'm acting, you can see that I'm raising my voice because I'm finding it, like, I'm way more aggressive and I'm more interested in controlling the conversation when it involves me. Because it's me.
Yes.
Like, this should be obvious to anybody that has two brain cells to rub together. So.
You would think, but again, if he had another brain cell, both of them would be fighting for third place. You like that, huh?
Yeah, it was funny.
All right, so let's go ahead and get back to this.
And more importantly than that, yeah, you should care about being a dishonest. You should absolutely care about that.
I don't care.
But more importantly,
is that
I'm moving on to racism. You're being dishonest. I don't care if you think it's funny. That's not the point. Secondly, when it comes to racism thing, when you were saying that I was racist, like, what racist thing did I say? Because that had nothing. You said that months later.
I don't want people to say racist shit in my fucking Discord server. Okay, Gilded Poo is in my Discord server. I banned him for saying racist shit.
So what was the racist thing?
All kinds of crazy racist shit all the time. Even in your video about Quayman, you were like making underhanded jokes about him like being fucking Jewish and shit like that. Like, you engage in like a lot of racialized, like, edgy humor, and I don't fuck with that.
I don't remember saying that in the video. I was in the comment section. I wrote this entire autistic thing where I created this obviously bullshit conspiracy theory that he's like a closeted Jew or something. But it was like obviously, or not closeted Jew. He was pretending not to be Jewish. But like, you know, who cares? Like, it was, but that wasn't like the same thing. Like, so I don't really know what you're talking about. And secondly, I was doing that before I even joined your server. So why did you even allow me to join in the first place?
Because you joined to call in, and then I removed.
And then you I was there for over a month before you removed me. Actually, like,
yeah. Do you think that I'm like sitting there?
Just, correction.
Like, Discord endlessly, like,
I want to correct myself here.
Let me pause this. Give me a second.
I mean, you waylog me.
Go ahead.
I forgot to edit this into. It wasn't a month. It was like a week. I don't know why I said a month. So, but where he is incorrect is he said I joined to argue with Sai. That actually isn't true. I joined like I think 2 or 3 days before that argument with Sai even happened. So I joined the server on 6/28 of 2025. The debate with Sai happened on July 1st or 2nd, one of the two. So yeah. No, it was July. Yeah, it was July 1st. I was banned on July 2nd.
Thanks for the correction, but we all know that your grasp on time is tenuous at best.
It is.
Enough to know that I say obscure racist things on other platforms, so You know, like
Yeah,
allegedly
watch the video on
racist.
Queen Man.
Because
Yeah, 'cause I watched the
because
video
by
on
the
Queen
way,
Man.
because apparently racist jokes are thereby make you racist. Apparently, that's interesting. It's a new one.
That's totally what I said. I said I don't want people that make racist jokes in my fucking Discord.
Well, actually, no. You called me racist. There's a different thing.
Sure, I would consider you to be racist based on a lot of the stuff that you said. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't agree with that interpretation or my understanding of you as a person, that's completely fine. That is my general takeaway from you as a person. And if you disagree with that, that's completely fine as well.
I mean, if you want to judge whether or not somebody's an ist entirely on jokes, that's on you. That's just silly. But what's funny is that you and this is the third contradiction, because you see, you then later also stated that actually the real reason was you banned Gilded Poo because it's Gilded Poo.
I said on stream that I removed Gilded for being racist from my Discord server. I removed Gilded Poo for being Gilded Poo. I think that involves racism.
Which was interesting, because when you brought up the racism claim, you said that you don't ban people from your server just because you don't like them.
I actually just am more interested in consistent moderation, where I'm not just going to ban people because I don't fucking like them, because I think that's stupid and gay. People come to my Discord server because they like the content, they like the community, whatever the fuck it is, and unless they're breaking the rules of the server, okay, that's fine. I don't have to like you. That is completely fine.
But then last night you were saying you banned me just because it's me. So which is it?
Correct. So who are you as a person, Gilded Poo? When you say Gilded Poo, what comes to your mind? I think of someone who had a terabyte of bestiality porn, somebody who makes racist jokes, somebody who makes, like rape threats, all this other shit. And I think of somebody who is a controversial figure. I have been incredibly good faith to you, incredibly, whatever, in DMs. I don't want you in my fucking Discord server because you have baggage. You are
no, don't get me wrong.
I don't
want
to be
That's fair.
That's
fair.
So when I say Gilded Poo, because Gilded Poo is Gilded Poo, I'm invoking a very specific understanding that everybody who's been around you has, that you're an edgelord, that you're antagonistic, you're spicy, you say crazy shit, you're trolling. I get it. I understand that. So when I say that, that encapsulates all of these behaviors, folded up neatly into one nice, concise statement.
Okay. But you can see how on the surface that looks like a direct contradiction to a prior
I don't care.
Okay. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Why don't you just say I'm a dishonest faggot and get it over with? Like, holy shit.
Oh fuck! I forgot one. No.
I literally just said everything you said. No.
The one Gilded Poo L.
No, I literally said everything you just said was fair. I literally said that. I said that was completely fair. I even agree with you, actually. Like I completely agree with the justifications and the reason. I said that's fair like 4 times. Then I asked you, but do you see why I came to the conclusion that was a contradiction? And then you said you don't care.
I don't care.
And then you could have just said, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but that wasn't the intent. And I would have just said, oh, okay, cool. That would have been it. That would have been the whole thing.
If that's your takeaway, that's your takeaway. It's very clear that like nothing that I'm going to say is going to change your mind in any meaningful way.
No, I thought you gave a really good answer until you said you didn't care. I was just like, whatever.
Okay, I care a lot then. I care a lot, and you're right.
Good, thank you. But the second thing I wanted to bring up, because this is another example of issues that I have, is and this is the big one actually. This is the actual the big one that I take personal issue with. Yes.
I'm ready.
So do you remember? Because this happened in DMs? And I can bring them up if you don't remember. But I remember at one point in both DMs and in I believe Falgi's server, you had brought up several times that hey, I don't support people going around accusing you of this wild claim of you having child porn on your computer, or having it on that hard drive, and that you would moderate it, and then. You spread the rumor yourself on your own channel, on your own stream.
No, I said that I didn't know, that I've heard rumors, but I have not seen it, so I can't confirm or deny.
That's amazing.
If somebody has seen the images or that they have seen the dumps and they do know, they can let me know. I obviously don't want to see the fucking image, but to my understanding, somebody has said, it has been rumored around many times, that there was like some kind of zoo imagery or whatever of a kid fucking decapitated chicken or something like that. And so I said, I've heard rumors or murmurings of this. I've never seen it. I don't want to see it. But if anybody knows if that's true or not, you can let me know.
Not only is that an insane allegation because it was most obviously not a kid in it, but I wasn't even the person that had it, nor was I the person that posted it. So
I want to go ahead and qualify and verify this because unfortunately I did see the image. Number one, it was posted by server member Crinklecrack, who I don't think he's even been around like for not long since then, because he tried coming into Senate, because he posted that in Sarah's server. He came into Senate and like did like the lamest attempt at trolling I've ever seen, but the image was a decapitated chicken with its neck skin still attached and a dude using it as a flashlight taking up the entirety of the chicken's neck. It's gross, it's vile. Whoever posted it, I hope he kills himself, but there was no child involved. All right? We got that? Good.
It's a complete misunderstanding of literally all the lore, but regardless, that is not what you said. What you see, your exact words were, your exact words verbatim, and I can pull up the clip. Your exact words verbatim was, because it was when Aiden said, "Did you own child porn?" And you said, then I said no, and then you said, and I quote, "I heard that this was true." And then you just left it there. You just left it there. No, you never gave all those other qualifiers. Porn, had gay black ass porn. Did it have nope.
Oh, is that too far?
Yep.
I have heard rumors. Anybody can confirm or deny. I have heard around the grapevine that is actually true. That is actually true.
I didn't even notice this till editing. This guy was trying to couch his attempt at correcting what I said in, you guys can confirm or deny this if you want or whatever the fuck. Like, bro, come on. So yeah, for the remainder of this topic, I am quite evidently way too charitable with this guy. Had I watched this clip before the fucking stream, I probably would have been a lot less charitable.
Yeah.
All you did.
Yeah, fairness. No, actually that was a cooked chicken. And the only person I've ever seen try to say that that's a form of like child porn was Vash Landset while we were beefing. It was the dumbest argument he could make.
true.
That's all you said. That's all you said. And the reason I take issue with that is because, let's be realistic here, that would be no different from me just right now saying on stream, yeah, you know, I heard that it was true that you know, Malcolm likes to diddle toddlers in his spare time. I don't know if it's true, but I heard it was true. And then just leave it there and move on. Like, do you not see the issue with that? You're just throwing an issue with you're throwing bullshit in the air with no evidence.
What you are asking of me is to do an infinite amount of qualifiers every single fucking time I bring it up when I made it very clear that it's a rumor.
Actually, what I'm asking you to do is to never say anything without having solid, like, ironclad evidence.
That's never going to happen. I'm going to discuss rumors and like murmurings in the background, yes, and I'm going to quantify and say this is just something that I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I haven't seen any evidence of it, but this is what I've heard. I'm going to continue to do that. That's not going to stop.
Okay. Yeah. That is like look, we both know what you're doing. You're just saying shit and then hiding behind. Oh, it's just a rumor, bro. Like, come on.
If that's what you take away from it, that's fine. I'm not going to infinitely quantify every single thing that I say every single fucking time, and I'm never going to stop like talking about different things and say this is the information that I have right now. This is what I know to be true. This is the stuff that I haven't seen. This is stuff that's alleged or a rumor or whatever. I don't have any evidence of this, but this is what I've heard. I'm going to continue to do that. That's not going to change.
Yeah,
I wouldn't make an exception for anybody because I've covered a lot of rumors and speculations about Psy as well. It's not just about you.
No, you didn't. Not the important ones. Because the important things you were given, you ignored and said it wasn't your problem. Remember? We're gonna go over that part of the debate here once this is done.
Or the Liosphere or whatever. There are plenty of people that I've covered where I've said there are allegations of this that I can't, prove or substantiate.
And you shouldn't do it for them either. You shouldn't do that. That's insane. That's shit. Like just throwing a rumor out there, like you know as well as I do that nobody gives a fuck if that's a rumor or not. They're just gonna roll with it, right? Like you know that. You have to be fully aware of that.
He knows that because he lets it happen in his server.
Control the hearts and the minds of every single person that watches my content. I'm never gonna be able to do that. It's an unreasonable threshold.
But moderating your chat, your Discord, and being honest about things and making sure your language is as little in manipulation as possible is something you can do and something you choose not to do.
Yeah, you actually can by just not throwing.
M1, just be happy I didn't phrase the stream poll the way Vlad wanted to or thought to do. It would have been worse.
Bullshit into the wind.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but this is a rumor that's like not just here on my stream. Like this is a rumor that has existed long before I was even aware of who you were or who Lio was.
Oh no,
this has been a rumor for a very long time.
I mean, I'm not denying that it was that somebody devised a rumor at some point. I don't think you like lied about it being a rumor. That's not my thought at all. I mean,
don't those who say this crap blame similar crap on you, Lio, and honestly, Gilded Poo as well? I'm not really sure.
Obviously, because you moderated people who were making the same allegation. So
yeah, an allegation is different than saying this is a rumor that I've heard. These are two different things, right? If I say Gilded Poo has like fucking terabytes of CP, this is different than hey, when there was that dump I heard around the grapevine. I obviously can't prove it, so don't take it and run.
So can we just run around saying that it's a rumor that Malcolm slowly drives by playgrounds and licks his lips?
Yes.
But I heard that there might have been images in there where one or two of them was like a kid fucking a chicken.
So to make this perfectly clear, like
and you know what? If you ever want to verify it, Malcolm, you can just add Crinkle Crack. I'm sure he'd be happy to send you the image.
I should have said that on the stream. I didn't even think about it, but yeah, like if they're pushing a rumor, right? It's an insane claim, and then trying to say, but don't show me contrary evidence. I don't want to see it. It's like, if you don't want to see it, then shut the fuck up. Because it's the easiest way to debunk the claim. It would take like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but that takes effort.
It'd be perfectly okay with me making a video, like on you I'm not doing that, but if I made a video on you, hypothetically, and I was just like, I heard this rumor that he like suckles toddler peen, right? Like, you'd just be okay with me just throwing that out there and then moving on.
If that is what sparks joy for you, dude, you can do that.
I don't want to do that. I think that's fucked up, actually.
The standard that you're asking is unattainable.
No, it's
unattainable.
Not. Unattainable, to just be honest. No, it is not.
Very reasonable standard, actually.
No,
that most people agree with.
It's completely unattainable because I cannot infinitely quantify or like do enough handholding for every single person.
My whole point is you don't have any proof, don't say it. It's that simple. Because you should be like it's to your own benefit, by the way. That this does nothing but help you, like in the long run. So that's the point. Like that makes you look more credible because you can always.
Yes, it is, Leia Raymonds. In fact, the Bible talks about it over 100 times.
Ways behind the scenes. Say, I heard this rumor. Hey, could you people look into this? That's fine. But whenever you just throw the rumor out there like that, it doesn't look like what you think it looks like. Just because you may have verbatim said, this is just a rumor, doesn't mean that anybody's going to take it that way.
Okay, so a couple of things we need to go over here real quick. So at the end of the stream, the unedited one, right? Vlad gives Malcolm some unironically friendly advice of, hey, you should probably curb this behavior. You should probably stop this nonsense because it could lead to you getting sued at some point in time because that's the way people are, right? Nothing negative, nothing a threat. Well, there's a certain individual in this sphere, and I actually don't think I can zoom in on this, unfortunately, but it goes by the name of Midgematic. You'll see them in Malcolm's chat and other chats all the time, who has made... I will not work on my intros, Chris. Who has made a lot of asinine claims, such as the idea that OpBlock, Putopia, Cope and Seeth, and Cat Slayer all have interchangeable mods. I don't think there's a single person in Cat Slayer that's a mod for any of those places. In fact, I know they're not. But because Vlad said, be careful what you say, because a lot of people are litigious, Mid says he's saying Lio is going to effing sue Malcolm Lamau. This person is so divorced from reality, it's hard to even, like, communicate with them. This is ridiculous. And these are the people that Malcolm relies on to give him information. So what we're going to do now is there's a couple things, or at least one, that I want to cover from the actual, like, unedited debate. And I've killed the screen because I want to make sure that things are protected, because UTTP weirdos came in and did their pedophile nonsense. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the watch together once I get the screen back to where I need it to be.
Well, to be fair, they're not there at the end of the stream. So they're only there within the first 30 minutes.
Okay, because either way, I just don't want to center it again. But let's see here. X. You won't have to do anything. It should just show up. So, boom. And we're going to hit play. Now, I'm going to go to the timestamp I found. Right? Da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do. Where you talk about your video on... Stop it! I don't know why I did that. I did not hit play. I'm going to have to turn that audio down. Goodness. One moment. Boop. Much better. Let me see here. Where is it? It's where you guys argue about communism for a little bit. All right. You were trying to qualify something, and he's like, oh, it's not true communism, yada, yada, yada. So we're just get past that. 159.45. We got to find it. All right, let's try this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you
just
like
pick
that
a
be
country that's actually
racist.
fucking communist, and then
I think
if somebody is Laotian, if somebody is Laotian, and you say go back to Laos, yes, I would say that. Yes, correct.
I don't see that as racist. I would agree if you said xenophobic, I would probably agree with you though, but I don't think it's racist.
Okay, well, use whatever idiom you prefer, whatever sparks joy for you, dude. Whatever makes you happy, because I want you to be able to sleep comfortably. So I want you to feel happy with the statements. Okay.
Yeah. But did you watch my Psy video?
No, bitch. You fucking privated it like 5 seconds after it was done.
He privated it like a few months after it was done because Psy's cavalcade of freaks were mass reporting his account because he upset their queen.
No. Well, hold on. In Malcolm's defense, there's a opener. He was referring to a live stream in defense of Psy. Another sentence. And yeah, so he didn't actually watch the video. He's referring to the live stream.
I see.
Yeah, so, and then he said he was going to watch the video, like, the next stream. He did not.
Of course not. So let's go ahead and continue, because it's very interesting what he says here.
To find it.
It was months later. What do you mean?
It literally wasn't. I went to go and watch it the day after you fucking streamed it, and it was gone. I literally had it open, and I opened it the morning after, and it was gone.
That's not possible. Like that.
It's literally. I can go in my Discord and I can say, I can go and look. I asked the day after, did anybody archive this? I literally asked.
I mean, I'm not doubting that I think there's a bug because I didn't private that video. I mean, immediately afterwards.
So if you want to send it to me, I'll watch it.
It's
if you want to
up
send it to me, I'll watch
now. Like you can go watch it right now. Like it's there.
Where?
On YouTube.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
No.
Are you grooming me?
It's literally the second to last video on my channel.
I feel like you're trying to groom me right now.
No.
Please stop. You're not respecting my boundaries.
In fact, more importantly than that, when the Queeman video came out, like that video
it's
was
right
up.
Here, I see it.
Yeah, it was
literally the day after it was gone. Okay, I'll watch this. Okay, I got it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Wait, how was this before? No, there was another stream that you did. There was a stream that you did when she got kicked out of my Discord server. Where did that one go?
Okay, that's different. Yeah, I was talking about my video. No, the stream.
Oh, where the fuck did that one go? I watch the stream. Can I watch the stream?
The stream I took down, but I ended up uploading it to Rumble, I believe. So you can go to my Rumble.
Oh
and
my god, that's so gay. You're not reading the bisexual allegations. You're not reading the bisexual allegations. Can you unlist it and give me the link? I promise I won't. But can I watch it? I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch the stream and I missed it.
I can do that. Sure.
I won't watch it on stream if you don't want me to, but I literally.
Oh no, you don't want to watch it on stream, actually.
Okay.
Okay, because there's a billion uses of the slur.
Oh wow. Okay, that's crazy. All right, yeah, cool. So I did want to watch that. That's the one that I was talking about. I apologize. I haven't watched the other Size Scribbles one. I didn't even know that one was on there. To be completely honest with you.
So the reason I'm asking is because the things I present in that video, like in my opinion, should have warranted her being banned from basically any server anyway.
True.
That's what I'm saying. So,
okay. Okay. In my defense, I didn't see it. So if that's true,
like for example, you went after
Sorry, I accidentally pressed
how
the pause
he
button.
with minors, and I show pretty clear evidence that this woman was distributing what she described as child porn to minors.
Oh, these allegations, yeah. I'm not gonna. I know that you're very Vosh coded, and you see a dead horse and you think now's my opportunity. I don't.
Remember, taking her to task for something she's done within the year is a dead horse, but things I've done years ago is topical. He's sweeping for a freak, and he knows it. Here's the thing, because in the argument I had with Sai that he kept peeking in on, he saw the evidence that was posted. He doesn't care. And the entire reason he came after me was because Sai was crying in his DMs about how much of a big meanie I am because she's a strong, independent woman. That she was able to use a simping sucker like Malcolm to do her dirty work for her. And now because he's suffering from some cost fallacy, he can't just say, you know what, I was just trying to defend my friend and I was dumb. I'm sorry. And he'll continue this and play pretend that that's not what happened. He's welcome to. I'm going to keep making fun of him.
I don't want to relitigate every conversation I've ever had. Maybe if you want to talk about, how about I watch the side video?
No, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm saying like you can watch the video. I show more evidence than just the allegation. Like actually shows the evidence. So. So like
yeah, if you want to, I'll watch that and then we can reconvene because I didn't see that one. I thought you were talking about your stream. So that was my bad. I thought you were talking about the stream that you did and then you unlisted. So if you want, I'll watch the side video, and if you want, we can talk about it after I watch it. If you want to do that.
I'm curious, Vlad. Are you still on his friends list?
That's a question. Hold on. Looks like it, yeah.
We'll see if that continues. But we've seen another thing I need to cover here real quick. Let me see if I can find the timestamp because I do want to point this out because it's just really funny. So there's actually somebody that Malcolm talks about hating even more than me, like in terms of how he verbalizes it. All right, and we're gonna look at that. So it's at the 144.37. So let me try to find that. Let's go to 144.
Yeah, but the beauty of that is that information that you got later, you would have gotten sooner had you talked to Fauci.
No, I wouldn't because it didn't drop until later when he was on fucking Dicker's stream. No, it wouldn't have. Nice try.
No, it didn't drop until later on Dicker's stream, but that was after the information was already acquired. Everybody already had that information. Fauci already had that information. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't have a crystal ball. As soon as I get the ability to divine information from the fucking future through tarot readings and fucking masturbating with crystals, I'll let you know, okay?
I'm just saying this is what happens whenever you just say, I don't give a fuck what Fauci thinks, and then
I don't give a fuck what Fauci thinks, and I still don't give a fuck what Fauci thinks. I don't fucking care. He lied to me. That's not my fucking fault that he lied to me.
Man, you really hate Fauci for some reason. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I fucking hate Italian people, and I hate former theater kids. If you're over the age of 25 and you're a theater kid, you should be in a fucking gulag doing hard labor until your arms fall off.
What do you have against Italians? That's kind of racist.
He really hates Fauci, and what is the lie? I don't know. Do I think Fauci lied to him? No. Do I think Fauci had good information and Doofus here ignored it in favor of, I want to try to take a shot at Lio? Yeah. Do I think the only shot Malcolm should take at this point is one to the roof of his mouth? Absolutely. So, we have gone through the debate. All right, let me go ahead and close out the current poll, which, by the way, 82% of people are still afraid of their trauma repeating, which is fair. I'm not going to judge anybody for that. So, again, by Malcolm's standards, he thinks you're all kid touchers because he had to try to take a shot at me and just couldn't say, you know what, maybe I'm just wrong here. So, we're going to make another poll. Do-do. Do-do-do-do. Who won? The Pooh Man or the Weasel?
I'm gonna vote for the Weasel.
You would. You would. Just to spite everybody else. Alright, that's all we have on this to cover tonight. Vlad, thank you very much for showing. I know you're exhausted and you're probably gonna die the minute you're off stream.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and let you go, man. Again, appreciate you showing up. I'll catch you in the morning.
Have fun. Later.
That was Gilded Pooh, everyone. Now, there is something I need to go over real quick before we get to the super chat. So, there's a member of my server by the name of Rabbit. And, unfortunately, they need some help. Their kitty cat is having some severe medical issues. And they just do not have the money to handle it. So, if you are able to, I would greatly appreciate it if you would give them a hand with that. I'm putting the link in the chat, and I'm going to pin it. And I'll try to remember to put it in the description as well. So, if you could, please help. Alright, so, now that that's been looked at, let's go ahead and go to the super chats. Oh, goodness. Thank you again for all being so gracious as to do that. Lou for $5. Drawing Yuri while the stream goes on. Thank you, the LioConvoy, the artist background noise provider. Well, you're welcome. Sephiroth for $5. But the Eye of Thundera is the crossguard. I don't know what that's in reference to. Ashlam, $5 for Peapod to get maybe one stream to start without scuffage. I hope so. I can't believe I did that. My apologies. Karayas for $2. This is a bonk level of reach, LOL. True. Lacey Black Cat for $2. Parasocialism at a grown age is embarrassing. True. Vlad for $2. Malcolm must be a national parasocialist worker. Okay, Vlad. Fool to World for $5. Speaking of Transformers, got a recommendation for a G1 style Optimus Prime? Well, it depends on your budget. Obviously, you could get the original G1 Optimus Prime. If you don't really care about quality, you could get the Devastation one Hasbro put out. If you really want something truly iconic in the modern age, the Studio Series 86 one is just a great figure. If you want something more retro, but also really good, that isn't the vintage, there's the Missing Link Convoy, which is the original toy with added articulation. You can always get MP44, my personal favorite of the masterpieces. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and it's like $500. There's a whole slew of options, so it depends on what you're looking for. Raccoon for $5. Lio, I workplace now selling Gargoyles, old cartoon, and now He-Man. I think I buy them all. Cool. Raccoon for $2. Lio, you're guilty. Okay, proof? No proof. True. A-Space for $5. I mean, it's literally just that you were presented with more info and had a different take/idea of the person, you having more information on it. True. A-Space for another $5. My favorite part of the creator clash was when Sai claiming you swept for Lily Orchard, while also admitting to never watching the call she was sourcing. Yeah, that's what these people always do. And again, I'll make this very clear. Lily should kill herself expeditiously. Lily should go into the wilderness and get eaten by a wild animal. It'd be the only good thing she's ever done in her entire life. Dancer for $2. Hi, Lyle. Hello. Raccoon for $5. Hot cocoa and internet thanks you, Lyle. Well, that's nice. Raccoon for another $2. Lyle say Mother Russia in the Russian accent. Mother Russia. I'm not good at that, really. I tried to do an Egyptian accent. I failed at it. I should have just put junk on here. Fake Heaton for $50. Goodness, that was generous. Thank you very much. I think Mars kissing up the side is making me physically sick. LMAO. Well, now he's doing it to Malcolm. Digital Sketch for $10. If you shake Malcolm, you will hear his half marble of a brain cell ping in his skull. Half a marble of a brain cell is generous. Dancer for another $5. Lio, you thought of suing Malcolm for defamation? This could be another Carl Jobs situation. This is almost certainly an I Love Kim Possible situation a lot. I haven't. And frankly, if I tried, it wouldn't work. And the reason why it wouldn't work isn't because I couldn't prove malice, I could. Isn't because I couldn't prove intention to damage, I could. It's because he is so pathetic and so worthless in his reach and influence, he hasn't caused me any actual damages. I haven't lost any social standing, I haven't lost anything monetarily. He's just screeching into the wild and needs to be bullied more. The fake jar for $2. Move over, Vincent Martin. Or more, Vincent. Malcolm is taking your place. I mean, can anybody really take his place? Digital stats for $10. Malcolm, it doesn't matter. Cool. I can disregard everything you say. True. GG Pixels for $5. Congratulations, you're a groomer. Is a wild comment out of context. I choked on my jelly. Thanks, Lio. Well, I'm glad you're still around, though. Ka Reyes for $2. Malcolm, keep calling Lio the Lio man a bear. LOL. I mean, taxonomy is not his strong point, obviously. And apparently neither is psychology, I suppose. So, Raccoon for another $2. Lio, what is your favorite Disney old TV show? Darkwing Duck. And I will not apologize for it. Lol. You're going to review the HasLab Lio Kaiser? I didn't order him, so probably not. Anything else? Any crying simpletons I can make fun of? Nope. But I will say, the chat has chosen, and out of 88 votes, the Pooh Man has won. Victory for the Pooh Man. But that is all I have for this. That is all I have for tonight. It's been 3.5 hours. I'm going to let you go. And we'll be streaming again very soon because more toy community drama. And hoping other things will pop up. But Malcolm, I know you're going to react to this because you've been desperate to content farm me more directly. I hope every single person in your chat finally realizes how much of a Weasley little liar you are and realize you can't substantiate anything and you should kill yourself. All right? And yes, Raccoon, for $2, I will take him to the toilet. You guys have a good night. I'm going to send you to commercials. Take it easy.
Don't miss the super androids that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The mighty Silverhawks.
Afternoons at 4.
Thundercats! Ho! Thunder excitement is flying at you this fall when the Thundercats tear into action.
Let's cut those mutants down to size.
Get ready to strike a blow for justice this fall with the mighty Thundercats.
Lupin! Lupin! That man is a notorious thief who works all over the world!
Let's go meet this treasure that's soon to be ours.
Don't say that I didn't warn you. You can't fool me! You're planning something again!
Jeez, Pops, can't get anything past you.
He'll steal your heart, and then he's coming for everything else. Lupin the Third, premiering next Saturday night at 2.
Take it off.
That'll be my pleasure!
Only Toonami on a...
ビーストウォーズセカンド最大の敵がついに目覚めたライオコンボイ変身新司令官の登場だガルバトロントランスフォーム破壊大帝驚異の三段変形ライオン台風史上最大の対決に君も参加せよだからトランスフォーマービーストウォーズ
If one is born a man, at least once in his life, he will dream of becoming the strongest man alive.
Are you surprised at all? This is Orochi-style karate.
That's it, baby. Come straight for me.
Your training has paid off most impressively. I'd be happy to reward you now for all the progress you've made. could never
What an adorable little playground you have here.
Rocky the Grappler.
You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, automatic cement launcher. Function, launches pre-mixed fast-drying cement at the rate of 5,000 GPM. Glots per minute. Very effective at freezing monsters right in their tracks. Ending transmission. You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, Jake Clausen. Occupation, garage mechanic. Alias, Razor. Real job, SWAT Cat. Designs gadgets to capture bad guys. Goal, protection of Mega Cat City. Favorite expression, bingo. Ending transmission.
Meet St. Canard's Most Wanted.
Eat wanted, Starkling!
There's Megavolt, criminal circuit breaker.
It's playtime!
Quacker Jack, fiendish felon. Bushroot, experiment gone haywire.
I'm really not sinister, just misunderstood.
And diabolical evildoer, Nega Duck.
A rotten kind of guy!
And only one superhero can stop them.
The original, Mr. Fix-It! Get up!
Darkwing Duck.
A new Optimus Prime is here.
I'll transform Optimus!
Power Master Optimus Prime, greatest leader of his time.
It's great to be back.
Now Optimus Prime is back as a Power Master. He only transforms when his Nebulon becomes his engine. Power Master Optimus Prime.
Look! Optimus is transforming into a super robot! Power Master Transformers! They've got the power to surprise!
The Earth lies shattered and broken. A ruined wasteland that is now struggling to sustain life. Humanity is near the end after a devastating global meltdown. The oceans have been boiled away in nuclear fire. The land is charred and disfigured, saturated with deadly toxins. Life is a nightmarish struggle. The radiation levels have created hideous, mutated human savages. Mentally deranged, they roam in search of food and water. Gruesome violence brings terrible death to those who encounter these murderous mutants. It is an orgy of chaos, madness on a global scale. Savagery knows no limits. There are no nations, no laws, no order. In this grim reality, the forces of good and evil are once more preparing to fight for the future of mankind. Far, far away, a star shines out from the blackness of space. A beacon for the lost, a symbol of hope, an unfailing comfort to those on a journey. Known as the North Star, it has, through the ages, meant many things to many men. Under this eternal light walks the namesake of this star, a man of power and purity. A living beacon of hope, destined to bring light into the darkness. He is a feared man, spoken of in hushed tones. A legendary fighter, able to call on secret powers. Violence is met with worse violence as Ken destroys the forces of his evil half-brother. Heads roll, bodies fall, and the earth runs red as Ken draws ever nearer to Shin's stronghold in the city of the Southern Cross. The scene is set for an epic struggle between good and evil. What Shin started cannot be stopped. Many will die trying. Many will run. But there is only one Fist of the North Star.